Look, Fontaine is getting desperate because he is so scared of us that he has somehow infiltrated the real world and brought death to my air conditioning unit. So it is hot as Hephaestus's location up in here from Rapture. And I've got a fan going. I've got a fan going up here. I'm going to see if I'm able to record this before my camera shuts off from overheating. So fingers crossed. But I hope that this is going to work out. What are you going to do? Clearly fearful, right? They're scared of us. Would you kindly join me for the finale of BioShock, The Revisit? Oh, it is time. It is time. We are facing off against Fontaine. We are currently in Prometheus, which is such a fitting name for everything, considering where the story's gone, what has been revealed to us. So it is time to decide. We have, in a way, kind of broken our shackles, and we are free from Fontaine's memory hold and grasp on us. So it's time to choose. Thanks for being here, and let's get started. Action. And I choose death. Off with his head. Before we dive straight into the game, I did kind of want to expand on that a little bit. One, if I do have to jet out of here, it's just because my HVAC people are here. So I got to do that. But two, just to kind of expand on the conversation of Prometheus, right? Because we're entering the area of Point Prometheus. I was talking about how it was really fitting, especially coming from the previous area, which was Olympus, right? Wasn't it? It was called Olympus Heights. And I didn't even think about that because I wasn't familiar with the location names. But when we were talking about Frankenstein, if you don't know this, it's also kind of referred to as the modern Prometheus due to the themes and everything. So for people who aren't familiar with Prometheus, he was a titan and champion of humanity who defied the Olympian gods, which again, I think is so cool on the back of like us going into this area on the tail of coming out of the Olympus map too. So he defied the Olympian gods by stealing fire and bestowing it upon mortals. His myth explores themes of rebellion, human progress, and the duality of divine gifts. So that conversation of rebellion as well, which was such a heavy theme within Frankenstein. And I just thought that was really cool because that was, if you guys were on one of my streams from the last year, I kept talking so highly about that movie as when Jacob Elordi played the monster and everything. And I think I always come back to loving stories that do have this conversation of the created versus the creator and the natural rebellion that takes place because of the expectations that the creator places on their created. And so in this case, for us to be going into this place called Point Prometheus as the creation of Fontaine, right, and Tenenbaum, we are taking these powers that have been given to us and we're now using them to go against the person and the people who created us. And I love that theme. So anyways, okay, I'm going to set this up here. And like I said, if I have to jet out, it's just because it is hot as Hephaestus. So let's go find Fontaine. I think we've got three little sisters. We've got intense music happening. I'm also going to kind of be checking the OBS just a little bit more than I normally do, just in case my camera freezes for overheating purposes. But I think as long as we've got some luck on our side, we won't have those issues. So let's get after it. Okay. We've got our Vita chamber. So we did see him briefly and he is strong, like super strong. Although the music is churning and burning, I want to make sure that I'm not feeling the need to move at a certain speed because we don't have a timer on us. Where is that? It's all on fire. I don't think I have. Do I have frost? I do. There we go. Ooh. Okay, so he threw that out there. Station arrivals. Same thing there. Oh, you can see him working something for that special gift. Okay, let's get after. Okay, hear me out. Hold on. Let's go to Electroblast. I don't think they're gonna get electrocuted with that water. Let me see if I can hack, deactivate. Oh, I don't have to hack anymore, that's right. I just have to hit, oh, wait, deactivate. Reactivate. Did I hack this one? I guess I did. Haha! Nice. Nice try, Fontaine. I need to cool off. I've got my gene pool there. The gene pool. My gene bank. My gene pool.
Last chance, kid. You pack it in now, and I'll leave this dump to you and Frau Kraut. You keep on coming, and Rapture's a fish tank.
Are you gonna bring down the whole thing, including yourself? Oh, look at the library. Oh.
You let him get away. Oh,
I didn't.
Moment for thinking. Of course. This will be no problem. Find a Big Daddy and search his body. I would suggest you to be finding a dead one.
And there just happens to be one next to me. What is this? Optimized eugenics. Optimized eugenics. Little Wonders Educational Facility. That's right, we never saw that. Oh. Okay, that is our Big Daddy. Gorgeous. The globe above us. It's destroying the whole place. Failsafe armored escort. This is such an older set, this glass. A lot of people hate it because sometimes you'll find it in homes, depending, like a lot of homes that were built in the 80s. But I kind of like it. Oh, power to the people. We only have 2 more. Machine gun damage. I think so. Increase. If I do decide to ever use it. Suit control system.
You see the suit control system? So good, get it. That is step 1 of turning you into one of those disgusting Big Daddies. The only way to get through that door Fontaine went through is to have a little one open the door. It'll only trust you if you look like, sound like,
And even smell like.
one of those big stinking brutes.
So I
Where
need.
do you think you're going? You need to become a Big Daddy before you are able to draw out the little one.
Okay, relax. I will. Tenenbaum, relax. I'm trying to scoop the whoop up on any loot. She's gonna get mad at me. Can I go this way anyway, though? Do I have to? I want to explore before I become Oxford Club cigarettes. Before I become a Big Daddy. That person's still alive. Oh. Oh, I did not see that. Let's go electric buck with that. That'll be more receptive. Wait for it to pass over. There we go. That person's still alive, I think. Nope, never mind. What's that? Oh. Okay, it's a turret. Let's go telekinesis. What are you guys hiding back here? A little bit slow on that one. We're looking for any health kits too. Pistol bullets. Dead body. A whole library. A whole new world. Should be some good stuff in that. 3 small charges. Frag grenade. Grenades in the library. Is that a Houdini I hear?
We tricked you, monster.
Oh, I have to find all the components of becoming a Big Daddy. So I didn't just need that. I needed to find booties and stuff. Okay, I've got this. It's actually, we're not doing really well on monies, but I'm sure I'll loot enough down the road. So we'll be fine. I see that. No first aid kits in these shelves. Come on. You gotta move. Oh gosh. Oh, there's also an upgrade there. I'm holding off from using it because I'm a splicer. I'm holding off because I'm really excited. Can you please? Never tried jumping and then smacking them liquid nitrogen? That's awesome. What is it? Damage research 2? Oh, it's gonna be glorious. Okay, let's do the film and then damage research 2. Hit him where it hurts and hit him hard. New damage research 2 lets you exploit your enemy's weaknesses, even more than before. Okay. Not that I super need that, but I guess I could be snapping more photos. Incinerary bolts. So many different weapons I haven't been using. Maybe I should just get fancy with it. Let's use some, let's use incinerary bolts, sure. Big daddy booties.
Via these boots here, there should be in fail-safe armored escorts. No matter, take them.
Was that a response to me getting it out of order? Was she supposed to tell us to go to, I guess we were supposed to go to failsafe. I'm just doing it on my own. My booties, do you hear how heavy my feet are now?
Where you gonna go? Your life, your family? They're a fairy tale, kid.
Okay.
More real than something you read about in a Saturday Evening Post. Poor bastard. A motherless freak, whipped up in a half-baked science experiment.
Wait. Now he's saying that I'm motherless and whipped up in a lab experiment. But I thought Jolene was our mom. Maybe I'm so wrong about that. I just could have sworn that I thought we got confirmation about our dad being Andrew. Do you see what I see? I don't think I actually need that, but can you please move? Museum. Of course I would get the boots that weigh so much. First. I'm gonna step on people. Okay, don't go in here yet. Let's go back down. What is this? Oh, here. That's the library I went into. Let's go to the other side. I hear that.
Reminder, we all have bills to pay, and the temptation to break curfew to make a little extra out of it.
To break curfew?
Stay on the level.
Good night. Alright, got him. Let's see what's up here. Giant fossil? Fish fossil. This is gonna go into the same place. See if I can shoot just. Nice, took out the security bot. One security bot down. I think there's a second one maybe. Okay, there's optimized eugenics. Whew. Ta-da. Is that what I think it is? Gatherer's Garden. I've got 320 health upgrade again. 4 fewer overloads when hacking. That would make it even easier. Do I just have level 1 for that? That's only 50. I don't know if I'd need it though, but they wouldn't give me something that I don't need, right? Let's do focused hacker. When you have to hack the most delicate systems out there, only Focused Hacker 2 from HackSmart can ensure your safety from overloads. Yeah, I didn't have it. That'll help that. Incinerate I do have, but I'm gonna hold off on that. Let's go with health and Eve. I'm not leaning into the plasmids, I know. For shame. I'll make up for it in Infinite. I feel like I was bathing in plasmids in Infinite, if I remember correctly. What? Ah, failsafe armored escorts. Another big daddy. Suit control system, 14 bucks. After.
Ryan takes this place. Here is where they build their filthy golem, Frankenstein. Find the pieces.
They're
of the
Frankensteins.
guide the little one.
But I don't want to guide them yet. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm sure I'll be able to explore more. Baby doll, please don't get up. Not on my account. We got 5 of these. Search. Search. They're not dead necessarily, but I've already got one on me, so I don't think I need to hack. Steel screws, machine gun. Bot shut down. Kind of want to destroy them because I can't put my finger. I just feel like they're gonna come alive. It's alive! Main hall. Every time. So I think my first introduction to, of course, being familiar with Frankenstein's story, period, but I want to say one of my first one of my first introductions to Frankenstein was Young Frankenstein. I just love it so much. I'm gonna go over to the other side. I want to leave first. You brought me an abnormal brain. So we can't go here until I have a little sister, right? No, I can. Whoa! Oh, shoot.
These red little ones to imprint a certain smell, pheromone. But this is not like putting on aftershave. You will need 3 industrial applications of this stuff, and then the little ones will be drawn to you like a bee to honey. You will have to gather 3 pheromones here.
3,
So that you smell
okay.
disgusting. Just like a big daddy.
There we go. Just like a big daddy. Smell disgusting. We're an Art Deco Prometheus. That's a Rosie, but I'm still gonna double check. Yeah, completed. Okay, ready? Sorry, Mr. B. I think it's actually, oh, it's not a big Rosie.
You push me too far, kid. When you're cold and stiff, I'm gonna go over to Mother Goose's house, and I'm gonna take it apart, piece by piece, and brat by brat.
Don't touch.
Consider it your legacy.
Don't you touch those girls. Fontaine's such a dislikable character in the best ways. Okay, that's one of our 3 little sisters. Find pieces of the Big Daddy suit. Let's go back over here. My big old steps. Oh, hello. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, wait, my HVAC's gone. Hold on, my HVAC. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back in here. I think I got them destroyed. Yes. Oh man. Rapture isn't the only thing heating up. The chairs. Let's look out the window here. It's that place, Fleet Hall. Always seen Fleet Hall in the distance. Okay, I like using these just to mix it up. I want to challenge myself. This is where I came from. Yeah, because if they were over here, then that means I can go over here. Okay, we have a UN vent. Let's see. Could go ahead and make some more of this. We have the components. Yeah. Beeps and squeaks. Where? I shouldn't. I normally can hold 200 electric gel. Oh, I am holding 200 electric gel. Shoot. All right, let's go. Pistol. Oops. You need to gather pheromone samples. That one. And then we can duck the rest. Oh, I actually had just used a bunch of alcohol, so it's a good find. Boop. Brass tube, steel tip bolts. They've gloves. So Big Daddies, were they once a person, then converted? Let me re-listen to that. Become a big daddy. We need to sound like a big daddy. Inside optimized eugenics, you can find the means to make yourself sound like a big daddy. To look like a big daddy, you will need an unused helmet. Look in fail-safe armored escorts. To look like bodysuit, I need to smell like a big daddy. That's in the Little Wonders educational facility. And then, Fontaine has hidden in the Big Daddy training grounds. You'll need to become a Big Daddy yourself in order to pursue him. Search the nearby labs for what you need. And then let's go over here to radio messages. Protector labs.
After Ryan takes this place, here is where they build their filthy golems, their Frankensteins.
The golems.
Find the pieces of the suit. Guide the little ones.
Missing boots. Oh, because the boots were supposed to be here, but I got the boots early because I just went to the library. It's interesting that she calls these the filthy Frankensteins after what she's done to the little sisters. Okay, let's bring this over here. And we need to rush, and I mean rush. To the Historical Society over here. And then we want this one right here. And then swoosh over. Wait a minute. Right. Right. Am I looking at it and it doesn't exist? Okay, we're gonna have to. Okay, nope, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Can I reverse? Ah! Ouch. What kind of hack was that? I needed to go more straight down. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I think it's because I was going straight. You know what? I think it started to flow and I just needed to go straight down more instead of swivel and swerving. Because then we bring this here and I just need one more straight piece. That will do. Nice. Okay, pieces there. I can't do that. Go back to the buckshot. Suchong.
God damn it. The Big Daddy boots need to be shipped here, not the damn it library. What kind of idiot is Ryan hiring nowadays? This kind of bullshit never happened on the Fontaine.
Oh! It never happened under Fontaine because Fontaine started this. And then Ryan took over. That's right. There's someone out. There's a Big Daddy out there. Can I get into that? Failsafe is this way. Elite Rosie. And that's where we need to go. Can I go for a swim? No. There's no way to do that. Okay, let's go main hall. There's a lot of stuff in here. Ew. What the heck? Oh, right. Okay, I'm back here. And this was the Big Daddy that I got with the little sister. So I do need to go to a suit assembly. There could be more. I also need to grab... Whoa. Oh. Woo. Are they lab assistants? Doctors? Good morning. Do. The weight. The girthy footsteps that I'm displaying right now. Okay, so we know where the booties are. Empty those. Oh, here's another one. Protector smell?
Big Daddy make a terrible stink. Very smelly. Maybe something can be done. But the little sisters seem to like order. Now we have to find the recruits. You become Big Daddy, it's a one-way street. But Ryan says don't worry. Recruits will be no problem. That's Ryan. He's a good guy.
But he just said that it's a one-way street and she wants me to become this. So once I do this, am I stuck as a Big Daddy for the rest of the game? doing this to myself? Won't I have also like an inherent need to protect the little sisters, which I know I already am doing, but I feel like I'm playing straight into Tenenbaum's trap in some way. Are Tenenbaum and Fontaine still working together? No.
Could I have made mistakes? One does not build cities if one is guided by doubt. But can one govern in absolute certainty? I know that my beliefs have elevated me just as I know that the things I have rejected would have destroyed me. But the city, it's collapsing before my... Have I become so convinced by my own beliefs that I have stopped seeing the truth? Perhaps. But Atlas is out there, and he aims to destroy me and to destroy my city. To question is to surrender. I will not question.
I will not question. He had a moment where he was coming back and trying to figure out if what he's doing was... if he was going too far. One of those... hearing a... Is that a foghorn? Search all the desks. More of that. Look for any... It's gotta be down here. Main hall, candidate, induction. Oh! Well, there's our suits.
This is where you find bodies.
You're playing a bad hand, kid. You're just too spliced to smell it.
Oh.
Go on back to Mother Goose now, or everything's gonna go busto.
There's more stuff in there, too. Or everything's gonna go busto. Oh, is that where I need to head to? Oh, I can hack it. Don't be a friend of Atlas. Alright, I'm hacking. I can get some suits here. Eve hypos. Oh. Okay, they're giving us everything. Except for medkits. Can't carry any more of this item. I'm maxed out. I feel like I should put that out. I don't think I can, but I just want to try. Okay, I can. Control console. The Big Daddy bodysuit gives you a 25% resistance to all damage. Something tells you that you'll need it.
Wunderbar. All you need now is helmet.
I just feel like this might be... Don't you think this is a bit extreme? Something tells me you'll need it. Great. Laughs. Feel like I'm faster though too. Which is kind of fun. Oh my... Sir? I'll have to go out. Are we going for a little sea walk? Chippies? Napalm. Napalm in the water, of course. That scared the heck out of me. So I do have to get a helmet still. Shoot, I need the gene switch for my fire.
Look around you. There's nothing to see. Rapture's a mausoleum, a goddamn cemetery funhouse. And you and the crowd is just ghosts. Just a
Gene
matter of
bank.
time till you read it.
Just a couple of ghosts. Either way, he's still going down. What is that, a garden? Why am I seeing purple lights? Wallet's full right now. This is it. Oh! See what that is? Automatic hacking tool. And let's It's like, of course they don't have it on me right now. But no need. There's always multiple ways to go about it. I'm in. First aid kit. Corpses. This isn't for the helmet, though. Cheap son of a...
Fontaine, scary son of a bitch. But Ryan, cheap son of a bitch.
not work. Ryan said Big Daddy too expensive. Ryan can go suck an egg.
Ryan can suck an egg. I mean, why would he be cheaping out on, well, because I think he was kind of disgusted in a way by the big daddies and the little sisters and everything. Maybe. Is this where I went up? Oh, yeah. Okay, so this was, right, the other side? I came up over here, and then this was the, yep, this was the pathway. And then I had searched all of this. Okay, so we're just back on the other side. So now we just need to get a helmet. So I think I saw everything that was in here. I went to the other side. I'll just double check. It's another person. Oh, let's let Rosie get a little sister. If Rosie gets a little sister, then we'll be, there might be some money on him. Oh. A splicer. Suit assembly.
Monster, I can see you.
Oh my goodness. Oh, snap. Okay. Rosie, did you find your little sister? I'm gonna follow just a little bit longer. Oh, money. There should be, Rosie's walking over to, is there one at the end of the hall here? Yes, there is. All right, we'll let Rosie get it. Can walk over here for a second, main hall. This is a big area. Cause that's where, okay, that was the main hall. I went through over there. There we go, money there. Heal here. I'm gonna wait for them to walk this way though. Here she comes. Oh, and I can get the rest of the electric gel that I almost left.
Thank you, Slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpoke.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. P. Yeah, and then she gets terrified. The electric slide. Come here. Oh my goodness, I'm so lucky that she had moved because I pressed X to reload and the prop came up after and I was like, no! Please, no. Thank you. Thank you. Rubber hose. All right. See you. I know I'm leaving some money on the dance floor there, but you know what? We don't have to. Let me go over here, pick up this stuff. Grab that. Then what we're gonna do is go back over here too. Pump this. Oh, yeah. We're gonna run into here. To the circus of value. Gonna get burned for a second. We're gonna buy a first aid kit. And I'm gonna go pick up that money. Stand up. Baby. Wait, what's that? What? What? I did not see that before. Okay. There's an ammo machine on this side, and then I'll come back and get my money back from the Big Daddy. So we'll get more shotgun shells. Even though I'm kind of trying to run this. I could hack it, not hacking. Okay, that was a lot of money. Ooh. But we can't take it with us. So let's go over here to... Rosie. Thank you. 120 bucks right there. You know me being thorough. Trying to be at least. Okay, main hall, induction. Here it is.
I'd turn tail if I were you, kid. Ain't nothing here for you
all talk, Fontaine. You were much more convincing as Atlas. You should really try switching back to that. There's a different ambient sound in all of the areas. There's something else that kind of takes over at various points, depending on the area you're in. I need to put it out. Okay, can't put it out. Hacker's Delight 3. Woohoo! The ultimate development of the Hacker's Delight line. This will make every hacker a healthy hacker. Oh my gosh, and I'm skipping 1. I'm going straight to 2. And I've got the Big Daddy helmet.
We are getting somewhere. Now we will find some pheromones for you on the voice box. Let us go now. We have got some work to do.
To the voice box. Ugh, I should have gotten the helmet last though, because now I have to deal with this. Now I have to deal with the noise and... Or the, not the noise, but I have to deal with the visuals. Like seeing everything through this fisheye. Wish I could see a mirror. Is it just my imagination or am I faster? Okay, we're free to go. We need to go to the wonder place. Decontamination complete. Maybe I should have snapped their photo. Thuggish Splicer. Oh, don't be silly. You're so full of it. Going from threats to bargaining. Is that desperation I smell? I'm still too... Oh, that's a giant turtle. The turtle. Bit desperate. But also, going back to the plasmids, I am really concerned that if I lean into more plasmids, what if... At first I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm gonna become a splicer, but now that I'm sitting on it, I am genetically different. If I was concocted in a lab... Wait a minute. Shoot. Oh! Can you wait? Give me 1 second. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Is that a different Big Daddy? Why am I having 2 Big Daddies? Dude. It's a miracle I'm gonna survive this. Big Daddy Central. No. 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 Collected Adam.
It is a wounded world, is it not?
Thank
How
you.
can I thank you for this kindness? I send another little one with a token of our appreciation.
Will the Big Daddy stop trying to hurt me after I smell like a Big Daddy? Like right now I'm not smelling like a Big Daddy. So I'm thinking if once I do fully become... Let me see, I need a gene bank. Need to find a gene bank. Thank you. 200 Adam. We're swimming in Adam. But I still need a gene bank. I don't want to have to go through there though. I might be able to find one over there. Let's do optimized eugenics first. Decontamination in progress. Welcome. Main hall. Live subject testing. Some crazy testings. No live subjects. Water. Candidate induction. Am I seeing Fleet Hall again? Oh, we're getting all the upgrades here, though.
You think turning yourself into one of those tin men is a two-way street? The crowd's holding auditions for the Frankenstein parade, and you're first in line.
I know. I'm telling you guys, I'm not gonna be able to come back from this. Willingly becoming that witch. I don't need anything in there. Let's take this. There's so many of these power-ups here. Are your hacks still being interrupted by alarms? Then you need Alarm Expert 2 today. Oh, I don't use it. I'll swap it, because I don't actually need the other one. Voice box.
Look at you. We will make Big Daddy out of you yet, I think. There is only one piece missing, the pheromones. Go to the Little Wonders Educational Facility.
I don't even sound like myself anymore. I'm really becoming even more genetically modified than what I was originally. Actually, I don't even know if that's what this would be. Sometimes you just gotta blast.
Has Mother Goose really got her hooks into you? You can knock Ryan all you want, but the old man was bingo on one point of fact. You won't even walk till somebody says go.
I am still just following somebody else, I guess. Tenenbaum's suggestions this time, but now I'm just blind with rage, right? Like now I just want, doesn't matter what I become as long as I take down Fontaine. Security. It might allow me to do this. Yeah. This might have been another way to do this. I hear a security camera. Bot shot down there. What was that? Buckshot. Ooh, potato chips. Big Daddy or not, I still like my potato chips. Boom. Ryan was right. I'm just a tool. Testing. I don't have to come in here because we've already done the other voice box. And wrenches. I think I have the wrench move where if I hit them when they're not expecting it, I do extra damage, right? I just need one grenade. Trash can. It's starting to heat up in here, you guys. I'm overheating. My computer is soon to follow. Oh dear. I do see all of that stuff up there. I just don't need it. Does this take me where I've already been? I'm just looking for any more upgrades. Take that. Anything? It's always the Eve hypos like hiding up top. Okay. This is optimized eugenics here.
Look around you, kid. You think 2-bit heroics count for a fig in this pit? You're staring down the puke stain of Ryan's busted dream. You think there's something worth saving down here? And you deserve to gargle with the rest of these scrubs.
Then you deserve to die down here. Oh, splicers. Plasmid prototyping. There could be some good stuff in here. Hold up. I just heard Big Daddy be really upset at me. I think Big Daddy is upset. Okay. We need to make this. Okay, time to move. Time to move. Power to the people! That's my last power to the people. Guys, I'll have all of my upgrades. Automatic hack tool. There we go. And my gene bank to switch over to the fire. Feels good. Sometimes you just gotta get a good electrocution. Okay, there's steel tip bolts. I hear a Big Daddy. Unless, is that me? Am I making? Wait a minute. I think that's me groaning and moaning in pain. Yeah, because I now have the Big Daddy voice box. That's my last one. Guys, we did it. I don't think there's anything else that I can upgrade after this. Closed. Man. Auto hack. First aid kit. Can't really take that stuff. You'll need to find a gather pheromone sample, which we know is elsewhere. Okay, let's swap over the ice. Winter blast with incinerate too. Oh, I just have incinerate 1. Maybe I should go upgrade that. Need to go spend money. I want to look at the plasmid prototypes though. There could be some good stuff there. Backup generator. Not good. Shoot, 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 shoot. Alright, gotta run. Gotta go by. It's in here. It's in here. I know it's in here. Okay, wait. I know it's in here. I remember seeing it and I was like, oh no. There we go, buckshot. Whew. Okay, we need to get that. So before we go into the... Yeah, let's go this side. I think he has so much more health to him, right? No? Pieces, heal. Okay, this was the other side I could come in. There's got to be some kind of plasmid that we pick up here. A jar of some sort. Nothing? Even in the plasmid prototype center? Really? Nothing? It's a bit of a bummer. Would have expected something. Huh. Okay. Let's go back to the generator. Where is that thing? Oh. That's far. That's actually really far over there. Got it. Don't be a friend of Atlas. That's going to electrocute me. Is there any reason I need to be here? At all? Probably not, right? I can't imagine there's anything in there. The one thing we could check before we leave is if I go back over here. Is there something on this side that I can't see? Oh. Oh, it's a safe. Is there a way to turn it off? There could be anything that's safe. Oh, here, pull this. Duh. Is it timed though? Might be on a timer, so we need to move fast. think I accidentally threw that one. Yeah, let's just do a quick little auto hack. Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in. Nothing that I really needed. Okay, we're through. I think especially as a Big Daddy, electricity is our weakness. So going back through, whoops. Wait, where did I come from? Decontamination. Thank you.
You know, you should be thanking me. I brought you here. I showed you who you are. Nobody never told you nothing but lies till I come along.
Fontaine futuristics. It was nothing but lies. Genetic research lockbox. Why? Not worth melting. Not worth it at all. Stupid. Get a little bit back there. Let's go from the top floor. I like the toy soldiers. Little Wonders Educational Center. Facility. This is deep down here. We've saved all the little sisters we can. But I'm hearing more. No, I'm not. Hearing splicers. Alright. Big Daddy pheromone scent. Oh. What's a
I can only be glad I am nowhere near you and that awful stink.
8?
Why the little ones are drawn to the smell of those pheromones is beyond anything I can understand.
Do they all show the same thing? Just the bed? Oh, this is where they're observing them. Is somebody there? Houdini Splicer? Hidey hole. All good girls gather. Always stay close to a friend. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Why just girls? Good question.
I know why it has to be children, but why just girls? This I cannot determine why, but I know it is so. Fontaine says, one less bathroom to build in the orphanage. It is amazing to watch the effect of Adam on their small bodies. Their own cells replaced by the new stems the instant they are damaged. These children are practically invulnerable. It is a shame you could not do the same thing
Into an adult.
There would be quite a market for a man you could not kill.
Feels foreshadowing. Maybe it'd be quite a market for a man you could not kill. Back to my idea that Andrew is not really dead. I do want to get rid of them, but I'm gonna jump down. I saw the last pheromone sample was over here. A man you could not kill. Certainly be a market for it. Oh, the little pink rooms too. Mommy, daddy. Pheromones. I'm complete. The jellyfish, the fish.
Now this is a Big Daddy. Are you ready? Now go to the little sister vent by the proving grounds.
By the proving grounds. Wait. Oh, because they were so tiny that they couldn't reach it anyway.
I've got the atom now.
They could have pushed a chair.
That pill suit's even half enough to put the scare in me.
They had $1 stuffed in here. Also, I don't know if we ever talked about this, but did you see Andrew Ryan's face is on the dollar? Yeah, guys, those groans and moans are me. They're me. All good girls gather. Yeah, it's Andrew Ryan's face on it. The Atom Gathering. What? Is this the button to get your... Oh, no, never mind. It wasn't. It was an actual one. There was a real one. Okay. I thought I could have sworn it was me, but autopsy? Gene bank. Whoop, 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 whoop. Like, whoop. Maybe they're dogs. Could have sworn they're cats, but we might want to check on this person. Angel. Big Daddy. Ooh, this one's seen some things. Let's go into room 3. Okay. This one also has seen some things. Talk about a junkie. Wait, does it not open? So just not able to be opened? I guess so. Well, perfect. I needed that Eve hypo. Little sister, Big Daddy. Angel. All good girls gather. This is so... Ugh. And they were just caged. Just constantly kept... Oh! I thought I did know. I thought there was another person. From the top side, I could see someone in here. Just another pheromone. I'm extra. Those eyes. It's giving George Orwell. Let me see. Okay, I jumped into the mommy daddy one. Before we go to the autopsy, actually, let me get that now. I need that gene bank. Do I? No, no, I don't. The music. Starting to get sweaty. This sweater.
Please, Papa Sucho. I don't want to go on the table.
Please, Papa Suchan. Why are there so many of their dresses? Safecracker too. Are your enemies trying to lock away what's rightfully yours? Don't let them keep your hard-earned goods. Get them back with new Safecracker 2. Hacksmart wants you to get what's coming to you. Okay. Suchong was running most of it. But Tenenbaum also, I mean, Tenenbaum's become their protector, but she was working on them initially as well. So did she switch over to running it after Ryan came on board? And Suchong was when Fontaine, no, because Fontaine and Tenenbaum, because Tenenbaum kind of created the whole, she was able to be almost like the founder with the Sea Slug, and then working with Fontaine, and then Ryan brought on Suchong, and then I can't even think about what was done to those little girls to make them what they are. Little Wonders. The fact that it also is called Little Wonders Educational System. Or facility. Just an educational facility. Your daughter's been accepted to the state-of-the-art Wonders Educational System, where they'll gain the best and become the brightest. One of them is it this? Isn't it this one? This is the one I couldn't get into. First aid kit. Hidey hole, pep bar. Yeah, it was this one. Okay, it's time to go to the proving grounds. No, but I am the one still making those noises. I'm not wrong, I am the one. Take that first aid kit. This one's broken? I'm not gonna harm a fellow Big Daddy. Let's do the electric buck. The electric buck. Gun turret there. Oh, this wasn't even the way that you could leave. Turret. I think I still have to go out from the front. Yeah, or top side. To the proving grounds. Is there anything I missed? We're doing really well with our genes. We've got a ton of that stuff. Return to the proving grounds. Now that you are a big daddy, you can pursue Fontaine through the proving grounds. I feel like the part that's irreversible, you can put a suit on and off, you can put a helmet on and off, you can put boots and all this stuff, but changing my voice, I think changing my voice was what did us in. Pheromones, we can scrape that off. You know, I'm just smelling like a skunk right now, but oh gosh, I mean, I don't think we're gonna be able to reverse this. I don't know. All right, I'll be right back. I'm wondering if I should just switch to Incinerate too, since I already do have that. That's just upgrading what I already have. And then we can go to a gene. The Gatherer's Garden. This was the perfect place. So we're about to head to Proving Grounds, but this is truly like the perfect let's do a hack. This place being before we prove ourselves. Once again, kind of adding to that Frankenstein. The Frankenstein conversation. Just because you also have... Okay, Revan? Oh my goodness, you brought me a fish! Revan! Thank you. A fish? For me? You're so good. Hold on. I'm gonna hack this and then I'm gonna pet you because you did so good. You brought me a fish. I know it's silly, but I have to recognize her whenever she hunts for me because she's just such a little cutie. And she feels really good if she gets recognized. She's really proud of herself. You can hear her. You did so good, Revan. Thank you for my fish. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so sweet. Look at the fish he brought me. He brought me Din Din. She's like, man, you gotta get on this fish breath life. It's a nice life. It's a nice place to be. To the proving grounds. I hear you. I know. You tell him. You tell him, girl.
You need to bring them out of hiding and then they'll let you in the door. Go on, hit the vent with your wrench.
That's closed. I got all of that. Gene pool. I'm thinking... Oh, it would have automatically swapped. Hit it with the wrench. Wait, but I don't have gloves on. I have my normal human hand. Yeah, all of my thing, and I have my normal... That's interesting. I have my normal cable knit sweater and everything. They must have just not factored that in.
What is this you wait for? Go on. Hit the vent
I
with your
did.
wrench.
I did.
On the better. It would mean very much to me if you will be gentle with the girls. Mein kleines Mädchen.
I'm not good at escort missions, but I'll try my best. Oh! And she's not bulkhead to proving grounds. We must prove ourselves. You can walk through your own proximity mines without setting them off. Okay, that's good to know because I didn't do that. Did not do that. The proving grounds. Oh, there's more. Look, there's more, it's like a museum of some sort. Or did I miss the museum? Atom is the canvas of genetic modification, but plasmids are the paint. It's time. Fontaine's going down museum lobby. The proving grounds are in the museum.
Will lead you to Fontaine,
Hurry, Mr.
but
B.
you must protect them.
Angels are waiting.
Angels. Angels are waiting.
That's it, kid.
Wait.
Long road. You don't even remember most of it. Put you on a sub when you were just a sprout.
Altruism is the root of all wickedness. A man creates A parasite asks, where's my share? I know, your Mr. B is a slowpoke. Hold on. Mr. B is admiring the trip to the museum. Such a tall building.
Hurry, Mr. B.
I'm coming.
I can see the angels dancing in the sky.
I can see angels dancing in the sky. Anything I want to invent before I go? Maybe a couple of these? Yep, went straight in my inventory. Straight into the old. Okay, now that's been capped. Do 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 do. They're giving us everything. The Vita Chamber. First aid kit. Proving grounds, flow direction.
Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
Mr. Bubbles. Oh, we're finally getting some shark teeth though. What's down here? Welcome to the circus of values. Get some pep bars for the road. The problem's in your gene pool? Dang. The problem's not with your hair, it's in your gene pool. They give you money right before in case you do have to buy anything. That's strange. Oh, I guess it wouldn't pick me up because I'm a big daddy. Maybe. I'm not sure. Alright. I'm here.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
Don't be a slowpoke.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes. Hurry, Mr. B.
Central atrium. What is that? Where? I'm angry, but I don't know what's being hit. There's a big daddy being taken down.
Oh, me poor Moira. I me wee baby Patrick. Maybe one day I'll get me a real family. They play well, suckers.
I missed what was happening. I think something was destroying a big daddy. And she got hurt. I wonder if she got hurt by my... Did she get hurt by my electricity? An anglerfish? Okay. First subject?
Don't be a slowpoke.
Even though they are physically free and they live together,
You're physically free?
mental conditioning still holds them to their terrible past.
Oh.
Or the they're never at home.
Dancing in the sky.
Girl, you gotta stop. There's nothing coming out. Mr. B is trying. Did she get the atom? Well, you're kind of stuck. Okay, we need to move. Wait, wait, wait. Don't touch her. You're saying time to go, but you're still stabbing this man. We gotta go, child. Come on. We gotta move.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes. More. Hold up, hold up. Oh, shoot. Wait, little girl. I have to tank it. This section just wrecked us. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to protect her.
Watch out! For certain, they're harvesting to
Oh.
draw the attention of this flight.
Maybe she heals when she harvests? She is, I think. No, 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 no. It's like an escort harvest mission. Maybe I should hack that real quick. Oh my gosh, don't touch her! Oh no, I'm not good at this kind of stuff. I need her to heal. How do you know when you're good to go? Is she done? Oh crap, crap. She's going down. She's going down. I can't protect her. Girl, I can't protect you. You're gonna go down. I'll try to tank it. You gotta go. You gotta go. Yeah, wait, let me try. Maybe I can bring a new one. You already summoned one? Let it protect her? Oh, girl. Girly.
Hurry, Mr. B. Angels are waiting for a kiss.
I'm assuming that that might be fun. No, because he didn't become a big daddy. Oh, no.
Hurry, hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
I know. Mr. Bubbles is a little scared here.
Protect the little ones. They are not longer infused with Adam. They are as vulnerable as
I
any child.
know.
If a little one falls, you can call for another at the vent.
I didn't want to get one call.
Even one is a sin.
I know, I didn't want to get her. I felt really bad about that. Just everywhere you turn, there's another trap. Okay, I know, I know. Time to go. Oh, this shell. We saw the pictures of that shell.
Dream time, Mr. B.
Great. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Find a vent and summon
Okay,
another
what?
little one.
Don't look at me like that. Do not look at me like that. There are so many things trying to kill them. I couldn't protect her. Sven has not yet been activated by little sister.
Only the little ones can open these doors.
Oh,
Must protect them.
she's so mad at me too. Tenenbaum mad. But think about it, I've rescued far more than I've lost.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
If you think about it. Dollars. Okay, little girl. Oh yeah, I see that it's red right now. There's just so many things. Oh, but I guess this makes sense that this is your proving ground. You're trying to protect them on their way. All of their teeth are out. Is she harvesting?
Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
What? I'm right here. Right here. Okay.
Hurry, Mr. B.
That's right. The whole point. Search containers. My whole point is protecting them. Okay. She's looking for bodies and she's practicing on them. Got it. I knew what we were doing, but it still was.
I can see the angels dancing in the sky.
Man, being a big daddy is kind of a. It's a bit of a boring job. Not that being a protector is boring, but it's like being a bodyguard is just not what I was made for. Okay, I'm gonna save this one though. Okay, I see that there's something right away. So get ready.
Go, Mr. B.
Okay, girl. Let's hack. Maybe my hacking can help save them too. Yeah. Bring it down here. Around town. Let's go this way. Actually, we're gonna want to bring it over here. And then we'll want to swoop it here. Down. This should help with some crowd control. If I can just have some security. Yes.
I'm ready.
I know. Don't touch my little sister. Okay, I feel better.
Don't know what I was thinking. Never spliced up once the whole time I was down
What are you talking about?
aquarium. Figured
Where-
it was bad to mix business with pleasure, but
We're going this way, girl.
all the nose candy and floor polish I've been wasting time with, this stuff is the mother's milk.
Oh. Wait, no, little sister, we're going this way. We're not.
Go, Mr. B.
I don't know.
Mr. B.
I don't know why it's directing you that way, but I think we're supposed to head this way. There's a giant version of
Slowpoke, Mr. B.
Atlas.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
All of the sharks that have their teeth pulled out. Unless they're supposed to be like that, but I don't think so. What is it, girl?
Time to go, Mr. B. I'm ready for dream time, Mr. B.
Why are we...
Mr. B.
Oh, thank you. Okay, there we go. I hear more. Okay, I hear them.
Hurry. Hurry.
You gotta watch out, girl. Girl! What the? She's getting messed up. She's getting messed up.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angel.
She's... I'm... I wish I could heal her. I'm not good as a protector. I'm not proving anything.
Hop, hop, Mr. B. No
The
time to
museum.
waste.
It is very different from the rest.
No time to waste.
Hop, hop. Okay. I think that once you take them to a checkpoint, they should reset. They should like get their health back or something. Crabs.
Slowpoke, Mr. B.
Crabs.
Slowpoke.
There she is. No, stay right there, stay right there. Don't go over here. Oh gosh. Those ones scare me. But I guess if I run ahead, then I can clear the area first. Stay right there, girl. Stay right there, stay right there. I don't even know if it's worth it to hack these, because I haven't seen them really send anything out to assist, but it's worth a shot. Let's bring you down here. Okay, this down here. Got it. Okay. That polar bear again. And a moose. Oh. Okay. Girl, come here. Come on.
Be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
I gotta stand behind her.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
How many subjects are there?
Hurry, Mr. B. Angels are waiting for us.
Hurry! The harvesting will draw the attention of this viper.
Oh no! Here they come. Here they come.
Mr. B.
I'm trying to protect her. Got the security cams going off. Okay, time to go? Is it time to go? Go, girl. Go, girl. Go, you gotta move. Go. I go. I'm taking it for you. Hurry. Okay. Can we walk? Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. I guess they have to stop spawning.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angel dancing in the sky.
It is a necessary and purposeful escort mission, so it's not giving me the same trauma that a lot of times they do.
Hop, hop, Mr. B. No time to waste.
Which is so funny because one of my favorite games is Ico. I really enjoyed my time in that, and most of that entire game is kind of like an escort. It's one giant escort mission.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
It's interesting they don't change their voice lines even after
Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
rescuing them. But I guess it wouldn't. Hold on. I'm taking it for you. I'm taking it for you. Oh, wait. Get off of me. What is that, bouncer? This is not the time for me to be getting bonus shots on bouncers. Bouncer versus elite bouncer 2. Wait right there, girly pop. I'm gonna snap some photos.
No time for this.
Better for the girls to be with you. Better with you than alone.
I can
Alone in the crawling darkness.
dancing in the sky.
Let's refill these.
I'm ready for dream time, Mr. B.
I'm ready. The turtle. Well, hold on 1 second. Yes. Okay, I don't need that. I don't need any of this stuff. No.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Let's reload everything. I'm gonna go. I'm thinking any personnel rounds whenever we do get to fighting
No time for
Fontaine. Buckshot. Okay, we're now upstairs.
hurry.
Yes.
Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
That might be plenty for the working scrubs and the pencil pushers, but I need more. More! I want to splice till there ain't nothing left to splice with!
It's gonna destroy him. You can even hear the change in his voice. Let's go like heat-seeking RPG for that too. Also, I love how it's creativity ascendancy. Independence and creativity. Creativity twice. Wait, I can go this way? Oh. Goal escort the— No!
There! You must use the needle of the little sister to drain Fontaine of his Adam. It is the only way to defeat him.
So messed up. Get to the atom harvesting tool. You will need to take the atom harvesting tool that the little sister gave you to defeat Fontaine. Take it. Proving grounds direction. Gardens.
Fontaine is nearby. You are reaching close now.
Oh no. What are you waiting for? Okay, I will. I'm getting a lot of stuff right now. This is scary. This is telling me that this is gonna be a really challenging fight. I've got just about everything I think I could use.
Stick it in the bad man.
Stick it in the bad man. Wait just 1 second, girly pop. Health upgrade and a plasma upgrade, and I'm not using the plasmid spot. I'm about as topped up as I could be.
What are you waiting for?
Let me see if I can invent any more heat-seeking. It's my gene bank. Yeah, they gave us everything. One last hack for the road. Nope. I always love a good heat-seeking.
Stick it in the bad man.
Atom harvesting tool. This is the first time we're able to pick up an atom harvesting tool.
Fontaine waits above. There will be no going back from here. Make sure you are ready to face him before moving on.
Okay, so this is our final. This is if we want to do anything else. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm ready, but I'm also just sitting here like, we're stuck. We're a big daddy now. There's no, like she said, there's no coming back from this, but yeah, I mean, we've gone down this route and there's no coming back. It is just us versus Fontaine, and Fontaine's fallen into this atom harvesting splicer madness, and it's time to take him out and avenge ourselves. But I also can't get, I know this is what he was trying to do, was break down me mentally, but it kind of worked. Like, he did kind of get to me by saying that once again, am I choosing this, or is this what I'm doing because Tenenbaum's telling me to, not because she's controlling me. I don't think she's like mind controlling me or anything. I think our interests just align. But at the end of the day, I guess this is the only option. It's kind of this revenge. You created this. I think I'm ready. I feel good. I feel good. Let's do it. This is the ultimate showdown. Fontaine. I still want to believe that Andrew Ryan used the Vita Chamber. But whatever. And now we're just stuck as a Big Daddy. Do we just wander the halls of Rapture for good? Oh, you can change the game's difficulty at any time in option. Atlas is a parasite.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than 2. You were my ace in the hole. But you were also the closest thing I ever had to a son. And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly business.
What? Was he creating this the whole time? Life ain't strictly business. Now you change your tune. Again, just a little silver-tongued, convenient to him goober. You never cared about me. I wasn't, yeah, okay, well, actually, 2 things can be true at the same time. I don't think he's feeling betrayal, but I think he's feeling betrayed by the people that didn't successfully wire me to be able to permanently be under his thumb. But he probably, I mean, it is true. I guess I would technically be the closest thing he has to his son. No active goal. It's full-blown Prometheus style. Okay. Find Fontaine. Fontaine's atom.
Go! Go now! Hit him with the needle!
Oh, that's not it. Sorry, that's not a needle. Hit him, drain atom. How? Oh! How do I not remember any of this? Holy X-Men Legends! What in the world is happening here? Heat seeking! Heat seek! Ah! Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a I'm just gonna throw out a bunch of these. There. He's down. Drain it again. Ow! Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Little Iceman over here. Get him, Mr. V! I'm working it, I'm working it. Hold on, I gotta go fire. Gotta incinerate. All right, girls. Got some other stuff. Get him, Mr. B. I mean, I guess this is why we have this. There. Take care of that. Shoot. Go, 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 go. The stupid alarm. I've drained it. Ah! The stupid alarm. Let's move, 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 move. That's not. Okay. He's using electricity too. Ow. I'm getting pummeled. Ah! Where's my grenades? Ah! Okay, this is the last one though. Get in there. Sucker punch him. Explosive rounds, explosive rounds. Okay. Grenades! 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 Ah! Go, 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 go. Nature Slicer. Drain him. Alice is vulnerable in his chair. Yes!
I had you built. I sent you topside. I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family, I don't know what is.
The little sisters. Yes! Get him! Get him! The little sisters protect their big daddy after all. Wow. What's this?
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
A family? Yeah. I was thinking about that when they were crawling out of the bed and he was like, if that's not family, then I don't know what is. And I was like, this is family. Like these girls that I've come to learn. And oh my gosh, I didn't even think. Oh my gosh, that felt like it was over so fast. I want to run the credits, guys, and I want to talk about everything that just happened because that, I will say, was not expecting. I do feel like the pace at the very end there just flew by, and I think that's because I'm also playing on normal, so that final fight wasn't the most challenging. I did have to use up a lot of my bullets and things, but guys, let's go ahead and run the credits. Wow. That, it took me a while to get there, and then when he started trying to use the idea of a family against us, that's when I was like, wait a minute, like it really is a tale of family, is the people that you create and find and choose, the people that you choose. It's not always your blood. It's not always the people that you grow up with. Sometimes it's the people that you choose to continue to grow with. And I love that, how they all took different paths, and then he's this old man, and I loved that. And I feel like, even though I do feel like that ending was really quick and the summary was super quick, I couldn't be happier with that final little bit. The way that story worked out is you're in so many other people's eyes an abomination. You are a rejection of nature. You're a monster. And that was where, like, going through, everybody recognizes you and sees different things out of you. What Andrew Ryan saw in us was just a slave who's obeying and following these commands. To Tenenbaum and Suchong, like, I was this experimentation, right? I was this way to conquer death, to spit in the eye of their own creator in order to overcome, maybe not spit in the eye, but to feel like they have those powers themselves, to conquer death itself. And then to Fontaine, or to Atlas, I was a convenient way for him to rise to his own, for him to have his own ascendancy, which was why I thought it was so interesting that that was one of the 4 tenets. It was 2 creativities, and then there was ascendancy. And I love the characters. I think all of the characters are written so well and so intentional. Like, there's such intentionality behind this game, and I think that's why I cannot tell you guys enough how, yes, I always am. I'm always playing video games. I'd be doing this if I weren't doing this, but I love to get to share them with you guys too, because y'all also come along and share so many different perspectives. And even myself as a gamer coming back to a game many years later, like it has been almost half a decade. Like, it's been a while since I first experienced this, and I wasn't ready for this story then. I wasn't able to I was probably able to comprehend some of the stuff, but I didn't choose to. And I talk about this a lot of times, like, you can play a game and just take it at surface value. You can just play it and be like, I liked the combat, I liked being a big daddy, like, it was fun. Or you can look at it and you can use it to expand your not horizons, but expand your perspective and change and analyze it in a different view. And I think that this has, for many people, stuck around as one of their favorite franchises and such a lasting pillar in favorite games, like whenever someone kind of thinks back to one of their favorite series, because it does deal with so many incredible themes that are very human. To have questions, again, I kind of mentioned the novel Paradise Lost, right? Earlier on, it's like man has questions for God and vice versa in sort of a way. And I think that that's a very common trope that does happen a lot in film, in television, in video games. I was actually thinking about this even with E33. There's a little bit of that conversation of creator versus the created and figuring out your purpose, because when you feeling out your purpose and identifying your freedom and trying to prove your freedom sometimes and trying to make your own choices. And I think a lot of us can relate that we don't like choices to be made for us. And so you have this really cool game that starts you out, especially with the twist, like the twist more than anything, but the themes, like thematically, it hits hard with people if you're willing to like think about it from that perspective. So getting to go back once again, oh, look at these sweet messages. Oh my goodness, I'm always reminded too when I played episode 3 on the Xbox, the Star Wars episode 3. There was a proposal in the credits. So I'm like skimming through, and I just think this is the cutest thing ever. Thanks to my brother, I'd like to thank everyone. Oh, this feels so human. Like, this is so humanizing to see the people behind the game that are putting messages and dedications to people that supported them. Because once again, I know I say it. Oh my goodness, you see, for so-and-so who will not like video games no matter how much I try. Hold on, I'm actually gonna give them like double credits because I just like kind of running it. So we're gonna run it a second time while I continue talking, because I want to see some of those more, because that was so cute. But just again, like real quick too, the reason why I felt so compelled to come back to this game is because of the people behind it, because there is so much heart and soul and love that gets poured into video games, only for us to spend this whole playthrough probably will have amounted to like 20 hours, 20 of my hours, but days, if not years of people's lives and creativity. And as somebody who loves all kinds of art, all forms of art, I can think of no better way of respecting it than to take my time and come back and change and create a lasting memory. And so I talk about this a lot of times. I just wasn't ready for it when I first encountered and played this game. I wasn't ready to consume it how it should be and how it's meant to be. And I probably missed a lot of things too. So please, like, share things with me, share some of your insights, share what you guys particularly enjoyed about it. I loved how much parallel there was with Frankenstein and that kind of notion, and the modern Prometheus and everything like that, especially there at the end when he's on this pallet and he's consuming. I know, like with Fontaine, he's become, actually it's so cool because he really in a lot of ways has become a physical representation of Atlas holding up the world. yeah, like he becomes that, and it's so cool. Like he's statuesque at the end, and yet we bring down the statue, and in doing so, like she said at the end, they offered us this, but this isn't what we wanted. This isn't like this. Ultimately for us wasn't going to be fulfilling. For Fontaine, for Andrew Ryan, that was what they saw as fulfillment, was this desire to be their own, in their own light, a god of some sort, a governance. They wanted to govern over other people and make decisions, because I think you feel like if you get to a place where you run everything, then you no longer are working for someone. But I just don't always feel like that's true. I don't know if there's more freedom at the top, if that makes sense. Not at least if you care about other people. I think the higher up you go, even if you look at it from a structural standpoint, the higher you are in your job or anything like that, when you have people below you, I mean, hopefully you're caring about them and you're not just self-serving. And at the end of the day, these two people in Andrew Ryan was very much trying to, I feel like he was more altruistic, and he felt like well, maybe not, because that was one of the tenets, is he was like, altruism is the seed of wickedness. But I feel like he still tried to pretend like he didn't need other people. But ultimately, this Rapture wasn't able to be created, let alone run off of him alone. He still required other people. And Fontaine as well, like he was self-serving. Like even when he was working alongside Tenenbaum, it's because he saw a way to rise up over Ryan and get to the top. And instead of trying to get to the top, we pushed other people up, right? We freed these little sisters and allowed them to have a life. And sometimes I think that is one of the more fulfilling things, is when freedom is making any choice, and they were free to try to ascend as far as they could, but there's also freedom in choosing to help other people ascend. And I just think that was really cool. And then the family, anytime there's a family theme, I just get destroyed. I was kind of shocked to see Tenenbaum and everything that happened with her. And this goes back to, it's all gray. Like she's there's a lot to her backstory that we got a little insight into, but there's so much more. And just because she had a change of heart doesn't mean that the previous things didn't happen. I still feel like maybe the only way to succeed was to become a big daddy. But I think more than anything, that was just the quickest solution. I feel like we still possibly could have gotten there and saved it, but I just think that was the quickest way to go about it. And she was so fast to be like, hey, can you like you let him get away, like what are you doing, go after him. So I still feel like we were kind of being used there by Tenenbaum at the end, but I like to believe that our final act of choice was choosing to either take over Rapture or to free the girls, and we ended up choosing, as a man, we chose at the end. And that's the beauty in all of it. Okay, I want to read some of these. For putting up with my crazy so many family dedications. Also, I love the cat dedications. My family, Easy the cat, yes, which was horrible. For Sarah Cooper, who will not like video games no matter how hard I try. That seems so personal. I need to know, did Sarah Cooper end up liking video games? Did the person succeed, or is I am holding on to this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know, I love that. I want to dive further into the significance of the lighthouse, but I just don't think I don't think there's enough there yet. I know there's a lighthouse at the beginning. I suppose lighthouses are very significant, especially when you're in this sea of water and you have this light source that's almost like a beacon, right? It's meant to guide ships in safely into the harbor. And so it is very much a representation of safety and security and good in a lot of ways. So I find it interesting that while Andrew Ryan had all of this running down below, I guess you still had to have an entrance, so he chose a lighthouse as maybe kind of proclaiming this in a way as a safety and sanctuary for artists and for independent thinkers and minds. But I also wanted so badly for Andrew Ryan to come back. I wanted to believe that when I activated the Vita Chamber, he was alive again. I don't know how it works, but as the main player, if I can revive, why can't he? Why can't other people, you know? And I want to go back to, I just felt like it was heavily implied that I was the child of Jolene and Ryan, which would make sense if that's why I was able to revive. But my crazy idea is he still lives. He was still able to survive, but that doesn't make sense either. And just because I lived out my whole life, I let the girls have a life, and I lived to be an old man. So who did take over taking care of Rapture? And also Fontaine's goal of like becoming this overpowering, was he going to ascend beyond Rapture and try to take over the world and go further into it? I don't know. Because he wouldn't have stopped at Rapture. There was barely anybody left to run Rapture. So what are you really the god of? The god of like a dilapidated city at this point? I don't know. But in the end, his hubris got the better of him. That was phenomenal. And I'm really happy to report that the adventure does not end here, because I'm going to roll straight into BioShock 2. It's going to play the thing for us. I love how this is getting darker too and everything, but I am going to be bringing you guys BioShock 2. Now, what's cool about that one is I had played BioShock. I talked about that many times in this playthrough. I've done BioShock Infinite many years ago. I actually played BioShock Infinite before I played BioShock. It is horrid. Don't look at me like that. I know. But I started BioShock 2 and I never finished it. Again, this was before I was a full-time creator, so I had not anywhere near the same amount of time. And then on top of it, I think like a game had come out. Whatever the case was, I want to say I did 1 or 2 sessions of it on stream, and then I never ended up finishing it. So I'm really looking forward to having a quasi first-time playthrough with that and seeing where the story goes, because I do know that we pick up with a different character in the third one. So if I remember correctly, I don't know if we're still picking up as Jack or if we're somebody else. But the BioShock adventures do not end here. So if you guys enjoyed your time here, I would look forward to seeing you guys. I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next video and the next game, and kind of seeing where we go from there. I'm trying to think if I have any other final thoughts. I guess like kind of just going through and spitballing just my favorite things this time around. Of course, the story, the themes, the conversations, seeing the ambition of man, seeing the what people are able to create, and also in a terrifying way what they're able to do when they become addicted, like the splicers becoming addicted, but when there's something to be exploited, the atom, the creation of everything, getting to see how everybody handled it differently. As you guys saw, I didn't lean into the plasmids. I don't know if that led to a different ending. Oh, I do need to look up if there's different endings. So I do want to do that real quick before I head out. But the story just hit so much harder with me this time, and I will never forget it. The gameplay felt so smooth. It just was an incredible experience. I loved the combat. You guys saw it probably did start to get a little too easy for me, and maybe I should have kind of upped it towards the end and went up to a higher difficulty. But again, this replay through was meant for me to just enjoy the story, go along and extract as much and analyze as much as possible. I loved the voice actors. I think their voice direction was phenomenal. I couldn't picture anyone else playing Andrew Ryan. It just transported you to another time. I know there were several parts where I clearly was confused what time frame we were in. It was built after World War II. When I was a kid, I used to say World War II. It was built after that, and then we saw the Masquerade Ball. The Masquerade. I have the poster on in the background, 1959. Like, it was so much later, and in my head, I guess I just was thinking it was earlier, so I needed a timeline. But I really enjoyed being transported to another time from the music that they played, which I kind of recognized way too many songs that I should have, and my Spotify age is spot on, saying that I'm 82. So and that takes me to the music, like being transported from the environmental storytelling that they were able to pull off so well. The Art Deco, of course, is just such a pinnacle piece to this beautiful undersea Atlantis that was very telling of the time, but also just luxurious, which is why whenever you saw the destruction or the Apollo Square, it was such a big contrast and everything. And so that kind of leads me to another part where there's all of this beauty. So, and that's a lot of times darkness. You've always got the duality of life. You've got the light and the dark, and there was all of this beauty, and yet it was falling apart and being destroyed and crumbling. And so those two things were happening at the same time. So again, adding to those different themes, the sound design, all of the ambient noises on top of like that were specific to each section. There was this eerie element, especially earlier on in the game. It was terrifying. Like I forgot how horrific it is. And after we saw the preview that plays if you leave this screen on for too long.
A man has
Q.
a choice.
Q. Right on time.
The impossible.
Why do I want to watch it again?
I built a city where the artist would not fear.
The artist.
Where the great will not be constrained.
But the big fish always, there's always a food chain.
Would not be.
Anyway, so like from that alone, you could see that there was this horror element to it, and there's a monster theme going on here. And I think that's why I really liked the contrast. The humans were doing more horrific things than the people that were monstrous. The monsters, I talked about this earlier, the monsters you expect to be monsters. You look at the big daddies, the Rosies, the bouncers, like you look at them and you're like, no, that makes sense that you would be destructive because you look like it, because you by nature have this horrific drill as an arm, and yet they're sitting there protecting this girl. And then the humans are the ones that are being, I'll run the credits while I'm talking or something, but I'll just move it. Anyway, so I greatly enjoyed, I think it just, a lot of my expectations for it were subverted. It always kept you guessing and kept you on the edge of your seat as to where. The level design was wonderful. I never felt like it was dragging in segments. And my only thing was that I just felt like the ending was like, boop, we're done. Like you do all your stuff and then doop, we're good. The fight was very quick. I want to look up if there's different endings real quick, y'all, because I'm really happy. But I was thinking about this too. What happens if you decide to kill all of them? They wouldn't help you in the end, surely. Does BioShock have multiple endings? Yes, the BioShock series features multiple endings, though how they work varies by the game. The first game has 3 main endings: good, neutral, bad. Good ending, rescue every little sister you find. Neutral, sad ending, save at least one little sister, but harvest at least one. Evil, bad is harvest all the little sisters. So what happens if you harvest all the little sisters? Wait, what happens if you harvest the little sisters? Okay, we know that. The story consequences. Harvest more than one little sister and Jack absorbs the atom, turning into a tyrant, and unleashes the splicers on the world. Wow. That would have been so different. I think the first time I also chose to save them, I couldn't see myself extracting from them. I don't think I did. But yeah, so instead of releasing them to the world to go forward. But I do wonder, even with them growing up and living a normal life, she even talks about it, that they have some lasting, there's something lasting in their DNA and their genetic makeup. So I do wonder how that impacted them in the long run in their lifespan. I don't know. All right. I think that's pretty much it. It's always challenging for me to conclude a title and to just give you guys all my thoughts. I like to say that I kind of convey them as I'm going along. But yeah, I feel like we talked about a lot of things. I guess in the end, I felt like Andrew Ryan, he created something great. And I think in the end, he was trying to give us, like, he chose to let us kill him. Because I keep going back to this. I'm like, why did he let us kill him? Like, it just, to me, it doesn't make sense unless he knew he was coming back, or he was really trying to test if man could break their chain, you know, if you could choose, if I could rise above it. But there were still, I just feel like there's some unanswered questions that I have, and maybe I didn't find all the voice recordings. Maybe that's why. There's probably some more for me to find. Or maybe the second game answers more of it, and that's why I'm feeling a little left in the dark on it. Because yeah, the ending, I want to believe it kind of felt like a little bit of a fairy tale ending there, and I think that's why I'm left feeling a little, I'm not underwhelmed, I'm not feeling meh, I'm just like, I wanted more. I do feel like I wanted to know a couple more things. I wanted to see a couple more outcomes for things. I mean, I know his body was dead, but look, for me, whether somebody dies or not, even if I'm the one killing them, I need to make sure. I need to double tap. Rule number, Zombieland, come on, double tap. I don't know. I guess I triple tapped him with the golf club, so I don't know. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for giving me a ounce of y'all's time, choosing to spend it here to watch this playthrough, to come along with me on this revisit and listen to my ramblings and my chaotic ideas and thoughts. But I just think that they did something really special here, and this franchise is lightning in a bottle, and I look forward to continuing it with you guys. So I hope I see y'all in BioShock 2, and until then, I'll catch you on whatever's next. Bye, YouTube. You're probably looking at the video length and thinking, what the heck? I thought she ended. But surprise, there's more. Guys, I wanted to watch the making of BioShock because after I walked through my copy, I ended up picking up a limited edition copy of BioShock, which came with this disc. And I thought this would be really insightful to understanding the intention behind this game more, maybe set us up for more success in the sequel, and yeah, just strengthen our knowledge on this entire franchise. So let's dive into it, and let's start with evolution. I hope you guys enjoy this. I never really do this stuff too much. I'm gonna try to pause when I have comments to make and not cut over top of the people talking and things, but yeah. Oh, also there are not subtitles available. I just want to let you guys know I did already check that, but it is not available. Let's do this. Evolution.
BioShock has been sort of in the company's blood for a very long time, and it's a game we sort of always wanted to do and always talked about, and we for a while didn't have a name, but then I think probably around 4 or 5 years ago, sort of the name BioShock came around for it, and we always had a bunch of design principles that were pretty firm, that it was a game that was going to take first-person shooting in a different direction, build upon principles of games we had done before, like System Shock 2, but really then take a different tack with that. Where
I like just practice like the pausing and everything, but y'all need to let me know if you want to see me take on the System Shock series. I have no exposure to them, so I think that would be really fun to just understand more fundamentals, and something that did make clearly waves in the industry in many different ways. But it's also just, I wanted to say, I wish and hope that more games continue to do this. And I know that there's the making of Kratos. There's actually quite a few games now that do a behind the scenes. I know I have actually done a reaction to Grounded 2 with you guys. So I just think there's something so humanizing about seeing the people behind, and it just makes it feel more personal when you can see the people whose brain like went into making this and bringing something that you love to life, you know? So I just want to say that before we get too into the thick of it.
The game was very sort of under the hood, numbery and RPG statty, to really say, let's work on world simulation and immersion and AI, and build up player choice through things he can see in the world, rather than numbers that are working under the hood.
You know, we really started with this idea of, well, let's make a game like Shock 2, but make it our own, make it different. And
lead program.
You know, we didn't really have a story or anything like that. All we had this idea for what kind of gameplay we wanted. So this kind of emergent world, a sandbox world, and we just wanted to build out from there.
When it first started out, it was set in different times. You know, it's gone from everything from modern day to the far future, until we eventually, you know, set it back in time somewhat, especially with the architecture.
Such a good call.
And we built, you know, internally funded and built a couple of prototypes, which are radically different from what the game is today.
I hope they show maybe a piece of that.
When you're trying to do something like BioShock, it's not something you sort of wake up one morning and like know what it is right away. And it was, you know, the collective talent of a lot of people and a lot of time to get the game where it is today.
We did a demo early on, probably 2003.
This is such good insight to see like the development cycle of a game title, of a game idea, all of it, right? Like them starting and
I guess as the consumer, you don't even think about how many pieces probably don't get added until the very end. Like you see someone, you're like, oh, I love that piece. And probably in the background as a game developer, you're like, oh, that's funny because we only threw that in at the very last second. And you have to think about it like games go through testing cycles and so many, like the starting idea and the ending idea has to be completely different, even when you're sticking true to that original fundamental or the fundamentals and the idea that you had. So this is so cool.
That I wish we could find it. It was on Xbox One, and it was, you know, it was still underwater, but it looked a lot like a space station, and everything was really clean and Star Trek-y, and the monsters were of like the Scooby-Doo variety. It was all over the place as far as aesthetics.
The story evolved a lot over time. Like originally, once we had this notion of that there was a genetic engineering experimentation going on in the world, we started thinking, what would that do? We started thinking, what would that do to this culture? And originally, we had this notion that the city was run by a series of what we called savants.
We started out with this concept of savants that were like these genetically engineered characters that went so far they became sort of like brains in a jar kind of thing.
Okay.
And you were originally going to defeat a different savant on every level as you progress through the game. And it just, there were too many characters, they didn't make any sense, and it got really out of control. So we sort of pulled back from some of those ideas.
Plus interacting with a guy in a jar isn't
it was
really
like, how are you going to have a boss fight with a guy in a jar? It was just a stupid idea.
It's funny you should say that.
You know, we had this 212-page design document laying out how every single thing in the game would work, from the controller mapping down to, you know, all the scripting components for the designers. And I mean, the programming team did an amazing job, and we got all of that stuff done, but it just wasn't helping us create the experience we wanted to make. So we all had to come step back from that and say, well, you know, what went wrong? And so that was a low point.
This is just fascinating because you have so many different minds coming together, and everybody, I talk about like video games are very personal to people, right? We all extract something different, and a lot of times when we go through a playthrough, it's why I always tell people like I'm never min-maxing in my intent, like when in my processes, even as a second playthrough of this game, like I wasn't going for making the like I always want to make the most out of it, but I wasn't trying to be the best. For me, it's about understanding the story. So the story takes the forefront by far for me, whereas someone else might really look at the experience of, is the combat smooth? Am I feeling like the environmental storytelling is good? Like, I think we can observe a lot of those things at the same time, but we always sort of like drift towards one primary objective or thing that we enjoy. And so to hear a team of people coming together to be like, this isn't becoming what we envisioned, like this vague idea at the beginning, we don't know exactly what it looks like, but we know that this isn't it. And maybe that's the feeling in game development, is you can't even always define what you want it to be, but you know what it isn't. And so when you create something for a little bit there, you're like, okay, no, now it's going the wrong direction. And so it's probably a series of like just pivots, right? Like, okay, we got to pivot. We don't want these savants. We need something different. Like, this doesn't make sense. This graphically is going to be a lot of work. And this is all just the thought process. This isn't even including the technical limitations of developers at this time. Like, it's just amazing.
Very good in a way, in that it made us realize that I think we were designing in our heads and then just throwing it over the fence. And, you know, the programmers were working on this huge backlog of tasks they had to do and slowly feeding that to the designers. But by the time the designers got the technology they requested, they'd forgotten they even wanted it. I mean, it was that kind of process where it was like, you know, a slow-moving pipeline. And we changed our process to be more of an iterative one, where programmers were working very closely with designers and saying, well, what are we trying to do right now? What's this experience we're trying to make? How do we do that? What is the, you know, minimal set of tech we need to make that happen? And, you know, let's get it done and try it really quick.
I think that's an important thing to remember too, is what is the experience we're trying to bring to the player, to gamers? What do we want what emotions do we want to invoke? What do we want them to feel? And I think that's so cool to see that they all have kind of talked about that, like going back to what are we trying to get across? Because this isn't it. That's like probably the core tenet that you kind of have to come back to anytime you're creating something is what is the intention, right? Because that's what you want the player to leave feeling.
And so we took that low point and kind of turned it into, I think it became kind of a turning point for the project. So that was very good.
The original design was like way heavier into RPG type things as well. We had prerequisites on everything. You couldn't hack this unless you had that. You couldn't shoot this unless you found that. Like
You
there
really
was all
couldn't do
kinds of
anything.
stuff.
Really.
Couldn't do anything.
As we started getting these systems working, we were just like, gamers have to do way too much to get to the cool, fun stuff in this game. So we just started stripping all of that away, and it got more and more at its heart. The heart of the shooter kept bubbling more and more to the top.
E3 was great for us.
Oh yeah, E3.
That was, I think, the first point where the team. I mean, one of the great things about working on games is that you work together as a team, and you go through these like crunches where you're all driving towards
I bet.
this huge deadline, and contrasting that with the original Vision demo that we did, E3 was an experience where like we got done and we said, yeah, like this really is showing us that we can make our vision a reality. So that was a huge motivating force for the team. Everybody's really excited, and of course, like we didn't expect to get all the great press that we got. So that was really gratifying.
But is that also like a lot of pressure too? Because I mean, we're talking about all of these design things on the back end, but then you also have to have some proof in the pudding to show to the world, right? Like they know that something's going on. You have deadlines. You have, again, like we talk about it now, especially like shareholders taking, having a bearing down pressure force on teams as well. And so there's all these external factors, and then you deliver something at E3. And what if what you deliver there is so different from what the player gets down the line? Have you missed, like, because now you have expectation management when you're putting a trailer out to the world, whatever it is, playable demo. So this is all cool.
Rewarding.
And we looked at all these cool systems we had and all the weapons and the plasmas. We said, well, if we took all this stuff and like really focused on a shooter, we could have the deepest shooter.
The plasmas.
Pretty much ever. And
right.
we didn't want to miss on that opportunity.
You know, the E3 demo was kind of showing you the mood of BioShock and the world and the art direction, and for Barcelona, we wanted to show people, well, all right, well, we've shown you how kind of creepy and different this game is and why it's interesting visually and conceptually. Now let's show you why it's going to be an amazing shooter.
Yeah, the concept was there.
That was great. Basically, took all the little bits of the game that happened emergently and threw them all into one demo so you can see like what happens when all hell breaks loose in this game.
What we did with that, we had this huge chunk of a level and sort of all these things sort of sprawling around, and then Ken came in one day and he was like, okay, here's the theme of the demo. The theme is hunting the Big Daddy. I want to know that we're starting here and our goal is this, and we do these things on our way, and then we get there and we have the climax. And it's the combination of him having that vision and us knowing how much we have to throw at it that makes a presentation for the fans. It says like, look, we're just telling you a little story. This is how to understand our game.
And actually after that demo, when we realized how amazing that experience was, Ken came up to me and he said, well, the Exo 6 demo where you're fighting, you have two security bots and they're fighting this giant protector who's on fire, and there's a gatherer and there's this guy throwing grenades off the balcony at you and you're shooting machine guns and stuff's exploding. He says, it's amazing. I'm glad we pulled that off. Now, I want the game to be like that all the time.
That's aggressive.
And I was like, I don't know if we can do that. Because that was a very small level in the game. And so coming off that high point in Barcelona, heading downward, realizing we had to make the whole game like that, that took some adjusting, but then we actually started pulling it off, which is great.
I feel like there's so much humility here. Like this is for someone who doesn't know anything about game development, and I'm just a consumer and I know bits and pieces from what I experience. I'm like, they make it sound so easy. Like, but we pulled it off. Like, that's fine. Like, okay. Like to take that and then pull off what they did, that's just incredible. I mean, but you have to have the passion for it too. And that's what I always say is like, you can tell the games that have people who, I mean, ideally, everybody believes in what they're creating, but you know, we all, even when you have a dream job, it still has the word job in it. Like there's still bad days and good days no matter what you do. So like it is really a choice to show up and be like, I am so thrilled to be here. I'm excited to produce something that the world's going to consume no matter how they interpret it. I am going to put my whole effort into this poster that maybe no one will see, but I know that I put my whole heart and soul into it. You know, like it's just, there's just so much that goes unseen behind a game. And I love just, even for some people that will never watch this, like there are some people that do, and then you are seen and hopefully understood. And that's where you just can't listen to, I think there's a lot of like negative voices for anything that you do, and you just have to choose to believe in the people that do look for it and see what you're really creating and what you're doing and feel the heart of it. But it's also natural to be misunderstood. And I think when you're delivering a project this large where you are a part of many creating this, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. And so it's just cool to see their passion coming through the screen. I think that's why I'm just like cheesing this whole time, is I'm like, they loved what they created. Like they're so proud of what they did, and they should be.
Our tech team in Australia has been just optimizing. And just when we think we've squeezed the last ounce of power out of the PC or the console, like they find another way to improve it. And
that's cool.
And the game is actually like that all the time now. Like you're constantly having these massive battles, all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Security bots everywhere.
It's great to see that. I mean, comparing it with games I've played in the past and worked on in the past, the current game is just so much more dense and chaotic, and at the same time still very creepy and lonely and dystopian. So
yes,
I think we kind of achieved our vision, and hopefully people will like the game.
Storytelling.
The game stories I do tend to evolve out of the game I'm working on. You know, sometimes they're very natural. Like when we made Freedom Force, I wanted to make a, you know, I wanted to make a real sort of on-the-nose comic book story.
I'm unfamiliar with that
System Shock 2, we had, you know, we had something to start with. We had the System Shock world to start with. You know, in Tribes, we worked out of that universe. But here it was like we really sort of were starting something that had no real precedent. And so I was sort of like waited for the game to tell me what the story should be. And there was a lot of things that evolved over the course of the game that sort of pointed in that direction. Like, you know, we knew we wanted the game to be in a place that was remote from the world, but complete. Because whenever I play games that take place in an actual place, like, you know, you have a game that takes place in Seattle or New York, and you go up to you know, there's a Jersey barrier there you can't jump over, or you go up to a guy who's like working in a store and you can only say one or two things to him.
Yes, yes, that is, sorry, Ken, I'm gonna pause you there for a second. But yes, and this is why I infinitely am drawn more towards games that are not based in a city, unless it's something like this, where it's like a mystical city that's somewhere else. And I think that for a lot of times when you think of creating an isolated, alone place, you're thinking remote island or space. And so I think what also made this iconic was its setting of being underwater. You know, this naturally dark, fearful area. And then you also have this plane crash at the beginning that, you know, I'm kind of kicking around on it, but it instantly takes me to Titanic. And so you're thinking about the Atlantic, right? Like you're thinking about, you know, how fearful that kind of water was already cemented in our brains, I think, ever since you knew the tale of Titanic. And so I don't know if that's where y'all's brains went at the beginning of it, but that's where I did. And I was like, this is such a cool setting because I'm already terrified of water. And now there's all of this stuff happening in this remote area. So I just think that they nailed this beautifully creepy, ominous, but optimistic space that's separate from the rest of the world without actually choosing a kind of traditional isolated location. So sorry, Ken, as you were.
To me, because I'd rather simulate something completely and give the player never press on that suspension of disbelief where the player's like, wait, why can't I do that? I'd rather make a world where the player can do everything they can expect to do. And I think the team wants to do that. And so we had to sort of come up with a place that was natural, that where you could do everything you wanted to do, but also you're never saying, why can't I just get in a car and drive off? Or why can't I talk to that guy? Or why can't I talk to this guy? And you know, this underwater city sort of came out of that if there was this place that was cut off, that you couldn't leave and that was self-contained, we could really go to town and simulate not just the world, but the culture and the products and the people and the history. And I didn't want to do like a strange science fiction world because that's always going to be hard to relate to. So we made a place that was sort of like its own little alternate history. And everything sort of evolved out of that, because I had to ask myself, if we're going to make this believable, why would somebody build a city at the bottom of the ocean? And you know, that's where BioShock's story came from. Is like asking that question, why would somebody do this? And trying to come up with a believable answer, and everything came out of that.
So
the city of Rapture was built by Andrew Ryan and his team with a real strong philosophical bent, and that bent was that people, you know, as he says, is a man not entitled to the sweat of his own brow. And he was, you know, he lived in a time in America where he came, first of all, he was born in the Soviet Union, and during around the time of the revolution, or before the revolution, and he saw what happened with the revolution, and he was an anti-communist, and he came to America. He felt that if he was a great man, he should be entitled to the fruit of his own labor. He didn't want the government or the church or, you know, anybody else telling him what was or wasn't his, which I think, you know, is to an American is a very sort of understandable concept. And he felt so strongly about this that he felt he couldn't stay in America, especially with the, you know, coming threat of nuclear war, with the new nuclear weapons after World War II. And he wanted to take you know, what he considered the best and the brightest people to a place where they could practice their craft, whatever their craft was, artist, you know, scientist, industrialist, and do it without another person's hand in their pocket. And that's why he created Rapture. In BioShock, the Civil War happens because of very natural things: greed, sex, jealousy, power, you know, all the things that screw up everything in reality. And also, but also the things that drive us all are the very things that cause the Civil War.
Tear apart.
The great thing I think about BioShock, from where I'm sitting as a writer,
just it's so simple, and it's like a tale as old as time. But yet, when you throw it into this world, when you put it into Rapture and you retell it through a different lens, it comes alive in another way. And I think that's what the beautiful thing about like storytelling in video games is it's telling a lot of similar tropes and a lot of same concepts that we're exposed to in our life, but it's just a different way to see it. And it's in a sometimes more relatable way, or sometimes it's more palpable and consumable. And, you know, it's one thing to read about something in a history book, and it's another thing to play it and to feel it and have these characters deliver these, you know, these voices, these audio logs, and you're like, it somehow sits deeper with you because you feel it come alive. And so I just like the brilliance, and I'm sitting here thinking it started actually with the idea of Rapture, and then Andrew Ryan was created out of that, which is, I mean, there's something kind of poetic in that by itself, that Rapture existed before Ryan really did, right? Because he's pretty much saying that they knew they wanted to have this outside city in the water, and then they were like, why and who would create this? And that's crazy. Ryan would
is that nobody's perfect. Like, there are no paragons, or there is no, you know, Gandalf, there's no
Gandalf,
there is no Ben Kenobi. All the characters you encounter, Tenenbaum and Atlas and Ryan and the people you hear about, like Fontaine, and the people you hear about in their audio diaries and you encounter, everybody is flawed in substantial ways,
which makes them relatable to the player.
With all these moral choices of like, who am I going to listen to? And there's no black hats and white hats, and everybody's had a sort of a dark gray. Well, you know, the diaries are a great way of telling the story, though we have to assume that not everybody's going to listen to all those, because these are people playing a first-person shooter. There's going to be a contingent of people who...
Which is so sad, because I know I probably have missed some diaries myself, But there's so much that you get from it. But this is also the other cool thing about games is you pick up and you try. Like, people take it or you leave it. Like, you might play it, and some people might love BioShock and actually have never seen every audio log, you know? Like, you can still love something without understanding just how much was put into it. I don't think that determines, like, your love. But for somebody who attempts to be as detail-oriented in my playthroughs as I do now, and I haven't always been, I can tell you, like, I enjoyed games when I was a little bit more shallow in my playthroughs, when I was a little bit faster with them. But I like to believe that my love for them has grown exponentially because of understanding it a little more. And I do think that there's probably a delicate balance between delivering a story where you know that people aren't going to maybe read everything or get every audio log. Can they still understand the bulk of what you're trying to say without understanding everything? Will the story still hit? Because like you said, they know that there's a majority of people that won't actually listen to them, if all of them. And then you also want to reward the players that do listen to them and hope that they understand it and like it. And I think that's why, as consumers of games, and I've been around long enough to know too, that if I don't feel like a game sits well with me, sometimes I have to do internal reflection and be like, did I just not understand it because I didn't consume as much as I should have? Is this the game? Like, it's so easy for us as a player to be like, oh, the game was just bad. And it's like, was the game bad, or were we just going through it really quickly, or were we not in the right headspace to play it? You know, like, was it the game's fault, or was it actually us? Was it how we were playing it? Were we playing on a harder difficulty than we should have, and we were getting frustrated too much? You know, like, oftentimes I think it's so easy to outwardly reflect and be like, or project and be like, no, the game just is terrible. And you're like, no, but you just didn't understand it because you didn't pick up everything and you didn't do everything. And, you know, whatever. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. But anyway, sorry, off my horse.
Care about that, and we really support them. The story is really detailed and rich. And there's incredible amount of detail. You can put the whole history of Rapture together from those audio diaries. Very carefully you wrote them and chose them. There's just listening to the world, listening to the public service announcements as you walk around the world, various advertisements from the world, just seeing the vending machines, watching the Big Daddy and Little Sister interact, seeing these sort of ghostly scenes that you come across, and you find out why there are ghosts in Rapture. There's, a dozen storytelling mediums in the game, and they're all really rich, and they're all designed that even the person who's playing it the most casual way is going to get a sense of what's happening here.
That's cool. And that's gotta be a difficult thing to pull off, you know? To make it consumable for any level of detail.
I mean, it's always a challenge, and this is a challenge that's gone on as long as there's been video games, and certainly it's been highlighted since the age of 3D video games, because you have artists trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve, and designers, trying to achieve a game space and a play space. I mean, in the best situations, you find that they complement each other. That a space that's good for tactical combat tends to look good for art, because it means there's pillars and architectural features and light in different places. So when those things happen, it's great. Other areas we will thrash out right till the very end, trying to get them right, trying to get concordance between design and art. And there's shouting, and eventually, we get every space to where it needs to be.
Well, the compromise comes, when design roughs in a space, and they require the player, for example, work its way up the scaffolding or these fallen columns. But the space, the narrative of the space, is a subway station, and sometimes that doesn't make sense for the type of space you're trying to create. So there's this back and forth. It's fun. It's challenging.
So you change the gameplay, and change the space, and meet in the middle.
You just rip out all their stuff. And
ignore everything they have to say. I think on the first vision demo that we did, which was it's something we do to shake out both how the gameplay is going to play out and an early pass on what the art's going to feel like. That treatment was really dry. It was period. The technology of that era was there. It was very 1940s, anywhere from the 30s to the 60s in technology. It still used, early aviation technology and railroad technology. But it was a very flat interpretation of it. It sort of looked like the New York City underground, the tunnels there in the area they were built. And there was really no attempt to go much beyond that then. And I think when we came out of that, we all agreed it was too dry, too brown and flat
It was also more of what you would have expected from an undersea base.
Yeah, it was. I think that we came into
more
it with
military,
with the idea
military,
of, well,
I
how
guess?
can we actually make this work? How would it be practical? It just came out looking way too practical. You know, yes, they would build everything with concrete and tiles, but you know, that ended up being, you know, really stale. It looked like every level was going to sort of feel like that. So from there we had to turn, and we did a few.
It needed to be more
early attempts at
elaborate.
this. One of the first was the train station, which still exists sort of in the game in Welcome as the Kashmir restaurant. And that was the first time we started using things like carpeting, parquet floors.
The parquet floors.
You know, like decorative pillars instead of practical
staple of Art Deco.
Poured concrete. And then we introduced the advertising and a lot of decorative elements. And we knew we were much more on the right track there.
The first thing that we had to get our head around was Art Deco, you know, and a few of the guys have a bit of a background in that. You know, I was the person who slept through art history, so I can spot it. It took me a while to separate Nouveau from Deco and then pass that on to some of the other junior artists who were really
that's actually a good point
with that. But that was the first real problem we had to solve. From there, you know, concepting spaces, trying to work with design on coming up with cool things, cool landmarks for the player to see, getting those nailed down, crying a lot when you know, you slave over ideas like that and it gets cut. Those are just a few of the huge problems we've had to solve.
That was one of
which, to hear them say, like, it started out so simplistic and they were going more browns and kind of this, I mean, I use the word militaristic, but I mean, when he was talking about the aviation railroad kind of technology, like more of that, the grays and the browns and all of that, the practical, he used the word practical. I cannot imagine Rapture without the elegance and the wall. On one end, I'm like, how did somebody create this? And how long did it take Andrew Ryan to pull this off? Like, how many people did it take? You know, all of these brass inlays, like it's probably easy to pick some of these design elements and be like, oh, this is easy to pull off. There's a reason why things aren't made like that anymore. Like cost probably, but also like the sheer time it takes. When I'm stopping, I'm admiring a wardrobe and I'm like, wow, look at the carvings in that. It's because it's so time intensive. And so it was really amazing to me to walk through the environment of BioShock, and not just, obviously the Art Deco like stands out like none other, you know, but more than that, it was the detail to every embellishment, like he even said, I actually hadn't even, I like parquet floors, but I actually hadn't even thought about that until I'm normally drawn towards herringbone floors. But even just the different flooring patterns and then having rugs kind of laid out here and there and everywhere, and all of those tiny choices that a lot of times the player just walks straight through and you don't notice it, but to see it turn into how magnificent and gorgeous, like it almost feels like Cohen designed everything. It wasn't even Andrew Ryan. Like it feels like something that he would have done for most of this, but I can't even imagine a drab Rapture. Like it needed to. And honestly, like I think Hephaestus was probably the main location. Well, the Hephaestus, and then also the, what am I thinking now? The Apollo area and everything like that. The commoner space, if you will. That was the drabbiest located. The drabbiest, is that where it's the more dingy areas, and yet they still were magnificent. Like even in the dilapidated nature of the common space and the orphanage, it still had signs that it once was quite beautiful, and still there was thought into it. Was it the same as the high-rise apartments and stuff like that? No. But yeah, so I just can't even imagine. And it's so cool, I think, from this side to learn that they were so far over here and then they went a completely opposite direction. And so I guess a lot of game development too is going too far, like almost having the bumpers on you as if you're bowling, and those kind of, they have to come back and hit you back into the direction of hitting the pins down instead of going into the gutters sometimes. So it really saved them of that, because I do think that the environment and gorgeous nature of the environment is what really caused people to be enamored with the world, beyond if it had just felt like browns and grays and more of like a, I guess, a brutalist style in a way.
It just
But that
sort
would
of
have been more like
materialized
70s, I
as, you know, we were trying different art styles and things like that to try to avoid really video gamey spaces. That was one of the things we went with. So
I'll tell you, it's a fantastic way to get art direction props because, you know, what game is set in a time period like that? You know,
Oh, that's so funny.
You know, just some sci-fi gray-brown world.
yeah, and so we had our the opportunity to pick and choose.
Get all new
from
props.
objects and architecture that did exist and really just mold it into new things and sort of blow it out of proportion too, even the simplest little things. And I think the first exteriors I remember that we did were much more functional looking, of course. Like they looked like, you know, I remember thinking about, and I did some early visualizations of, well, if you have a building on the seafloor and there's, you know, the seafloor is constantly moving, how do you balance that building?
The practical.
You know, eventually
science.
We threw all that stuff out and decided that, you know, it's a much bigger impression to really see the city that's sort of just sunk. It looks just like a, you know, a city, and it played into the fact that Rapture was sort of a terrible idea in the first place. It never could have possibly worked.
Yeah.
And, you know, that hubris and you know, that vanity that they thought it could
Vanity,
work.
that's such a good way to describe
See
it.
an entire city. It needed to look a little preposterous and ridiculous, but
Yes.
also beautiful. And it's easier, I think, for the player to identify with that time period and, you know, with what we were intending to say about this being a city rather than it being like these domes on the seafloor. We would
Gotta kick
do
out the civil
walkthroughs of
engineers,
level
get them out.
and, you know, try to hit key points that make the player feel they're constantly underwater, whether that's a leak in the ceiling that's depositing water on the floor. And you never know how that stuff's going to work out. You kind of put it in there, but once it got in there with final effects and sound, I think it turned out to be really convincing. You can't turn a corner without, you know, seeing or hearing or feeling water in some way.
When we first
The
started
whale
building
noises.
everything, we would go through, and then Scott, our director, he would go, dude, you have to flood the area or something. Put some water somewhere. Make people drowning. Stick things. Break pipes. Break the ceiling. So we had to look for. Basically, we ended up taking a look at
break room.
At first, really, it was just hard to train yourself to put water in places because I mean, you don't usually flood anywhere wherever you're going to make anything. I mean, I don't think I've ever worked on a game where I flooded everything. And in this game, it was really actually a conscious effort to go, how can I flood this area and make it look interesting and not make it look overdone?
You try to keep these strings of narrative, so the narratives that go through the whole game, like the Civil War narrative, or the, you know, how commercial the society was, or this conflict between Ryan and Fontaine. You try to just get little bits to keep the player, keep reminding them of you know, what's going on and what went on. But it's very difficult in a game like this where time has passed in some ways between the backstory, front story, and when you're playing, that you have to be really careful not to visually confuse the player and keep those themes continuous. In some ways, we had originally thought to have evidence of the Civil War throughout the game, starting from the very beginning. But unfortunately, it didn't make much sense because the player hadn't really been told about that yet. So a lot of that we pulled and pushed towards the back of the game. So as the player learns more about what happened in Rapture, those things sort of come at the right time in the story for them to actually see them and actually see evidence of the Civil War right around the time they hear about the Civil War. So
yeah, there's, you know, so many layers, and when you're trying to sell the story of a crazy surgeon in the medical deck, it really didn't make sense to paint on top of that this Civil War with the limited space and player RAM.
Because it would keep that narrative from punching through. I think a lot of the levels, and the art was refocused at a point in development based on this idea that really art, design, programming, everybody came at the same time, there's this real sense in the early levels of an individual within that level, an NPC, you know, or an enemy, that defines that his story, it's his personal narrative of Rapture, or her personal narrative of Rapture.
Which you felt like
and
that
in the
with
early
the
stages,
surgeon.
Each character, there's a character you will associate with each level, and each one has a different story to tell about Rapture. Not directly to you, but through the level that you see in front of them and through their behavior in the game.
And the location.
And so we would go through and just try to support that character in that level so that you really feel like that's his home. You know, and each one becomes just sort of layers your knowledge of what happened at Rapture until the very end.
It's a really great way of lending local color to any specific zone, you know.
Because you can't tell a story of what happened to thousands of people in any great detail. So you pick one of those thousands and be like, this is the arc he took, and here's how it affected the people around him.
Yeah. Okay, this is going to be a cool chapter. That's such a good segue into characters because that's true. Like, not only did it ground the level, I think that's really what these characters were. Like, it definitely grounded the level to feeling more like a traditional sense of, hey, here's your final boss before. But it also was, like he said, you have all of these people. And so you do hear a little bit about the other people who become splicers, of course. And you hear about some of the people that brush up against our main characters that we end up exploring. But they're able to develop everything, especially environmentally, around that person. Cohen's area in every way is so enigmatic of him, right? Like that is... That is so, and it becomes almost synonymous with the person, the surgeon's area. And I actually talked about this even with the items that you found in those locations were applicable. When you were gambling or you were in the casino, there were tons of slot machines. When you're in medical, you're finding all of these healing health kits and everything. And so that was a really cool way. And I think naturally as a player and a consumer, we have been conditioned to feel like games have a boss. Like they just do. A lot of games are, you're on your way and you're trying to be the hero and you're trying to save something or do something. And I think that's where I love the titles that kind of go against that in a way, where it makes you realize it fights that natural inclination in us to be the hero in the story, when really you might not be, you know, like you might just be somebody's weapon against another person, you know? And I think that's what made this so iconic, is it challenged internally our biases, you know, like our natural inclination to feel like we're the savior here. And did I still take I still took the savior route. I saved the little sisters and everything like that. But there's so much more to that too. So, and that was where you also got to explore in each of these characters and these levels, the ambiguity of people. And also, no matter if you take people, even when you take people out of the structures and the systems, and you think that if you separate them from the things that you think corrupt them, it holds up a mirror to humanity. And it really shows us that those things come back because maybe they're manipulated by or fastened by or amplified by some of these structures. I know we talked about it, like faith, religion, like all of, politics, all of that kind of stuff. Like it might amplify your character of some sort, but there is still going to be the human nature bits, the parts in each of these people that will come out no matter where they're located, no matter what structures. Even if you're giving them complete free reign, in that free choice, you're still driven to a certain direction. And I think that's what the mirror kind of holds up to Ryan, is you tried to create this Eden, and yet still in the end, they bit the apple. You know, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to take a step out real quick before we see the characters and continue. But this is so insightful. I'm so glad we did this. Oh, this is going to be a fun one.
Of the characters in the game, the Protector is probably the one that has changed the least. That concept of guys in diving suits being these big, tough Protector type guys has pretty much stayed with us the whole time.
He was the one thing that stayed, that was persistent through the whole development process. Once we really started and sat down and started doing concepts, he was what he would look like entirely changed over a period of a few months. The very first drawing I did was a guy in a dive suit, and we knew we wanted those guys in. But the actual details of what that would be for the Big Daddies did change, but we always knew we wanted a guy in a dive suit.
We originally had 4 Protectors, and we had to, we made one cut, and then we made another cut, and we're down to 2. And we had put in a lot of work to one of the Protectors that, in the end, we realized that if we wanted to have the polish time for the 2 main Protectors, that we would have to cut this one that we called the Slow Pro. The Slow Pro.
Slow Pro.
It's the heavy artillery.
Yeah, he's basically the tank. The Slow Pro was his full name. Again, we have the dumbest names. I apologize, but Slow Pro is Slow Protector effed up melee.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, it's for the kids, you know.
If Dave was in here right now, he'd be crying. It's his favorite concept.
One of them got cut, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah, he was cool.
That was maybe my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's still not clear to me why I got cut.
Oh, man.
Probably just to hurt me.
It was personal.
Originally, we had the whole ecology system, and the gatherers were actually not girls. They were these slugs.
What?
These, little slugs that flew around, and if you got near them, they'd roll up and start clicking, and that's when the protector would come in and attack you.
Oh, that's crazy.
And, we had the full animation for those guys were working fine, and you step back and it's like we want to build this relationship between the protectors and the gatherers, and nobody cares about a slug.
It wasn't really much of a choice to whether or not you wanted to harvest them or not. It was just like, that's an ugly sea slug. I want to kill that little.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, it was like you just wanted to stomp on them.
Stomp on
they were
them.
really nasty, and they just looked like things you squished. But it took us like a long time to find a gatherer that we liked. Yeah. Like we went through. We started getting concepts from everyone internally was working on it, and we even had outsourcing concept artists like throwing their ideas into the mix.
You got to dig some of those up. Remember the little squirrely?
Yeah,
guy?
there was this little.
That'd
There
be
was
so
one that was like this little
horsey.
like gerbil man.
There were crabs. There were going with the whole underwater theme.
There was a consideration they might be monkeys at one point, which that idea didn't last long.
I'll admit it. My bad idea was a dog whose front legs could move, but its back legs were bound in a wheelchair.
What?
Eating stuff, yeah. That's a bad idea.
There was like this little hunchback Oompa Loompa type of guy, and eventually we started seeing that the more humanoid we got, the better it felt.
Ultimately, it came down to just you don't have sympathy for any of those characters, or you
Maybe
don't
the dog.
want to
Maybe the
interact
dog.
with them.
And then Rob Waters, our in-house concept guy who worked on all of our stuff in recent years, drew this incredibly creepy looking little girl, and that was like, this is the way we've got to go. It's incredibly creepy, and it can be expressive. And one of the biggest problems with the slug back in the time was he had no appendages, he had no face, he had no eyes. Like you
He had
just
no lower jaw even.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You had no idea what this thing was trying to communicate to you as a gamer.
He's like, put
Having
me
her
down.
evolve from an insect into another tentacle monster, all the way to this idea that it's these little girls. I think it was just exciting because you're crossing a line there. I don't think people expect, and having Ken come up with ideas like that, and these challenging ideas you have to illustrate and sell to an audience, and make it edgy without going over the line. I think that was just rewarding, challenging. Hopefully, we've done a good job with that.
Specifically, the splicer characters changed a lot.
So before they talk about the splicers, I cannot imagine it without being the little sisters. I think that was integral to Tenenbaum's story, to her having this change of heart. I also think, like they said, it helps the player have sympathy. I think it plays on exactly what Tenenbaum experienced, which was, I think a lot of us have a sense of protection and this protective nature when it comes to young ones, like little kids and things like that. And so especially when you have this big old protector in a diving suit, it must have been before they came up with the term Big Daddy. I can't imagine it was going to be a Big Daddy to a slug, like the sea slug. Would you still love me if I were a sea slug? It had to have been before they came up with that name. So before it was just protector, and they're thinking, okay, well, they're just coming in to protect whatever the harvester is, the gatherer is. But I definitely think even with the girls being genetically modified and looking quite horrific and terrifying, you still naturally, and this comes down to sound design and things like that too, and what they say and stuff, but you feel for them and you want to protect them and you want to save them. And so for that very reason, it's interesting as well, because you're going up against their protector in a way to protect them if you're choosing not to harvest them. To be fair, if you're harvesting, you might not be protected. And this is where the game still gave you the freedom of choice to choose. Are you going to lean into maybe that paternal maternal instinct, or are you going to choose the route of, it's deep sea diving time, I got to get as much out of them as possible so that I can win this thing. But again, it goes back to freedom of choice, which I think was amazing.
Over time, and they came from a lot of different places. It was before I think the story had really gelled, and before the architecture had gelled, and interestingly enough, those have a lot of effect on what the characters are going to look like, because they really have to sit down in that world and live in that world. And we talked before how we changed the aesthetic of the facility from much more industrial, practical sort of place to a much more residential place. And I think that when we saw that happening in the architecture, then we realized we had to go back and look at these splicers again. And they had to be as sort of domestic looking as that world. So they, some of the original passes, you'll see monsters that, are very monstrous. And that was one angle that we were thinking about, that there are genetic distortions and how maybe they even specifically mutated themselves to be able to use certain weapons better, or like things like arms would go away because they didn't need that arm. They had such a specific duty that they'd created for themselves. And then again, as we moved away from that, we basically went back to square one, and then Rob took over, and we came up with pretty much the splicers you see now.
The masks.
A lot of the distortions in the faces came from. Actually, Ken had found this thing online, and it was called Project Facade, which was it's terrifying. It basically was some of the early attempts at sort of plastic and reconstructive surgery to treat soldiers at the end of World War I.
Project
who suffered horrible injuries to their face, and it was these sort of creative solutions to reconstruct their faces. And of course, the medicine wasn't really there, so sometimes the product was as terrifying as where they started out, but those were kind of a disturbing inspiration for some of the faces.
Makes a lot of sense,
some of the ways
though.
that you see the splicers' faces are distorted came from looking at those pictures.
Yeah.
Cringing at those pictures.
Yeah. The other reference was looking at old mugshots from the 1940s.
Really?
For whatever reason, just times were harder or whatever, and you could just really see it in their faces,
harder.
And just some of those portraits were just sort of inspiration for, a really sort of different looking character.
And hairstyles. Just some really bizarre hairstyles.
Yeah.
For criminals then.
For criminals then. This whole team is like funny, but not in the they're not trying to be.
On the technology side, as far as graphics goes,
programming,
giant leap from our past projects in terms of capabilities of our renderer, the tool sets available to our artists. I mean, in the last game we did, SWAT 4, was basically, here's a couple things you can do. I hope our artists are good because that's all they have. And on this game we had, I knew things were different when I came into this project, and we hired a new effects artist, Stephen Alexander, who's doing an amazing job. And we hired him a couple weeks after we hired him. I found him writing his own, vertex and pixel shaders, and I thought, wow, this is a big change from what we had before, where artists were just sort of painting textures, and now they're actually working very, very technically, working in high dynamic range lighting, and really, we have now technical artists who are pushing the programming team and driving the tool set.
Man.
And with this current generation of technology, we're actually able to do a lot of this stuff because it's actually really easy to create new effects, and the hardest part is really making them fit consistently in with the rest of the pipeline.
I've never thought about that either, because when you start, and I wonder about it more now because a lot of times the development cycle, it seems, is a little bit longer than it maybe once was. I mean, it's why we talk about, the game's taken 5 years, what's going on? But the technology was improving, I think, at a much faster pace and bigger, maybe not a faster pace, but bigger leaps. I feel like it's safe to say, from games in the late 90s, early 2000s to, 2015, 2016. Now I can see a game from 2017 and be like, I could see that being a 2026 game. Maybe it's because I'm just not that inclined, but I like to believe, or I feel like there's a little bit of diminishing returns, where at some point the graphics have gotten so good that I can't really tell the difference between 2024 and 2025. I'm going to be honest. I know maybe that's blasphemy, but it just is me. I'm looking at the story for a lot more things, but I've never thought about it from the development cycle of what if when you start developing something and then some really cool cutting edge technology comes along, what do you do? Do you incorporate it? Do you hold off? Do you accept that it would extend the project too long? You have to stay on top of all of the technological advances And because that's what also the consumer wants. The consumer wants better. We want more. We want like, I don't even think we know what we want. But that's got to be a challenge to start something and have these things kind of come along. And do you pick it up? Should you stay or should you go kind of thing? But it's cool too, because it could also be the difference between when you started a project, you had a really cool idea and you're like, well, it's just not technologically possible. And then a year goes on and you're like, wait, actually that idea you had, we can now implement because. So it's probably both thrilling and a lot of work to stay on top of what's next, because you also have to have people that are proficient in it and able to apply it, right? So it's that's a demanding job within the development team, I think.
So that's been a big challenge, is to create these beautiful new graphical effects, like all the water that you'll see in the game, you know, all the beautiful lighting effects, all the dynamic shadows, and getting all of those are easy to generate on their own, but they're very difficult to make them work consistently within the rest of the game, and that's necessitated another huge effort and very careful planning. And a heck of a lot of luck. And we have a amazing team in Australia who are doing, you know, just focusing on the core technology that lets us build the game. So most of the guys here are actually working on, you know, building the gameplay systems on top of the core tech. But there's just a massive effort on the other side of the world devoted to just laying the foundation for this. So tools team, you know, engine team, renderer team. There's lots more. I just can't remember them all. But yeah, so there's been a lot of effort gone into the tools just to allow people to create the kinds of experiences that we're creating now. So giving the designers the ability to do complicated scripting.
What was the engine they used?
Building this huge AI system.
In-house engine?
Just allows the player to do basically anything he wants. Has been a massive challenge, and I'm sure John Abercrombie, our AI programmer, our lead AI programmer, will talk a little bit about that.
We have our own behavior system that we've used before, and we were able to bring that over from a previous project and reuse it and extend some functionality of that. And basically, it allows us to encapsulate behaviors and have them be hierarchical and interrupt each other and those sorts of things. And it's called Tyrion. And because we had worked with the system before, we had a lot of experience with it, and we could, we knew, we had knowledge of how to use it well. And it allowed both us and the other programmers who had used it before to really do a lot more than we had, and prototype quicker and get things done faster than had we not had it, had we used stock Unreal. I think
so there were
two big
updates,
things for me that I spent time on. One was the interactions between the big daddies and little sisters, and we spent a lot of time like prototyping different behaviors and deciding which ones to go further with. And that was a lot of more time was spent doing that up front than later on. And the other thing is getting the splicers' attack behaviors correct, figuring out how they were going to fight to start with, and then building upon that and coming up with ideas that they could do things to make them more interesting. And certainly, I think those two would be the biggest things that I worked on.
On the animation side of things, we actually haven't taken what Unreal 3 provides. We're built on top of Havoc's animation SDK, which provides the groundwork for doing things like inverse kinematics and animation blending, animation playback, all sorts of good things.
They say Unreal Engine 3. Wow, I mean, I know it said Unreal Engine, but I'm like, wow. So 3
Even
back
though
then,
we do
yeah.
like rely on music a bit in our game to kind of convey the mood.
Who's cut off?
It was like a challenge for us to kind of like inject that emotion into just like kind of literal sound effects, like wind sounds and what are some other like scary sounds like that we had to make scary that would just like be otherwise, like machine sounds, for example. Like all machines, it was like important that they sounded like broken and old and kind of random. Like everything had to have this kind of filter of scariness and darkness and kind of degradation put over it. So nothing should ever sound like squeaky clean. Nothing should ever sound like it's in perfect working order. Nothing should ever sound like too happy. There had to be an element of kind of
broken
had to be an
down.
element of kind of some kind of twisted brokenness to it. A lot of like the machine VO, for example, like we had to like pitch shift it so it was going like really fast and then like really slow, and then we'd like break it up into like lots of different little sections. So
he's slowly coming over. What's
so
up?
it just kind of sounded broken and weird, and it kind of
I see a nose.
like not everything's normal.
We would sample the composer Gary Scheinman sort of frequently, and just take sort of sections of string sounds and set them maybe like a semitone apart to just like create tension in the player as they're walking around the world. They might just hear a sting that might just sort of invoke some sort of emotion out of them. So
like a steam
everything from
kind of
literal sound
release.
effects to machines to getting creative with music just creates this really frightening atmosphere.
Actually, like a lot of our inspiration kind of came from System Shock 2, which is just like System Shock 2 had that really cool thing of the ambience was just so ominous and pressing all the time. It was like relentless. It was like this like psychological button that you'd just be like, okay, I'm afraid now. And there's no music or anything. It'd just be this like unrelenting drone, you know?
Music has that
and
power.
So we definitely tried to like replicate that again in BioShock, and just kind of like you walk into a space and there's just like this really lonely hum there, and it's just like, you know, and it just freaks people out. It's great.
Yep. All the sounds in Rapture feel like they're from the period where the fiction takes place.
It's like, how do we torture people with sound? Basically, how do we make them have this? But it's true. Like I talk about it a lot of times, sound design and the music is absolutely the undercurrent for your emotions as you're progressing through a game. And it's usually what also grounds that moment that you're trying to deliver, whatever you're trying to get the the player to feel is oftentimes driven by that undertone, by whatever that is beneath the surface, beneath the voice, the writing, the action that's taking place. It sets that when you walk into a arena and you hear the crowd chanting and all of this stuff, right? Like it just lays the groundworks for delivering this total experience, right? Because we're trying to use all the senses as much as possible, except for taste and smell. Not smelling my games, but as much as possible. Like, what can we do beyond that sight? Okay, we can try to deliver the person to what would it feel like to walk through a creaky tank where water's about to burst through at any moment, and you don't know if you walk down that corridor if you're gonna be swallowed by the sea. It's great.
Off the synth stuff. Like, you know, that was like one thing about BioShock that like as a sound designer we did not have the luxury of, and that is kind of like in a lot of like sci-fi games you have these like really synth heavy kind of soundscapes and alien sounds and, you know, weird kind of doors opening, and they're all like, it's all very kind of like synthetic driven sounds, you know, but like our whole sound palette was based off
water,
real recordings of very like old antique machines a lot of the time.
Oh.
In fact, I think like the ambience in Science, like Science is our most kind of techie deck, I guess you would say. It was like all those computers around, and we actually like sampled an old MS-20, like an old analog 1970s synthesizer to kind of like get that really kind of like authentic old computer kind of sound.
I can like picture it in my head, but I can't.
Our soundtrack is incredible, and it was composed by a guy called Gary Scheinman, and he was just like really into kind of the music direction for BioShock was this early 20th century like avant-garde kind of experimental orchestral stuff, which is a tough direction to nail. And I knew like Gary Scheinman was the guy for it, because anytime like he would like send me his own personal listening collection, the stuff he'd send me would just be this like, you know, completely weird avant-garde orchestral stuff. So I was like, he was the guy for the job. So our score for BioShock is like, I don't know, I consider myself a fairly comprehensive gamer, and I've never like heard anything like it.
That's so cool. She's so passionate about it.
Yeah, and also we had like a live orchestra. Like a lot of the guys from the LA Philharmonic are kind of playing.
I saw that in the credits.
We have like a really, really amazing like virtuoso violinist who plays all our main parts, which is incredible. Because we really wanted to get, and actually like when we recorded the orchestral stuff, we really wanted to get like the sound of, you know, humans, like turning pages, you know, like moving their fingers on the violin strings. Like it was very important that this didn't sound like a modern Hollywood score at all. It was very important that it sounded more like more like a very old recording of, of humans playing music. And that was definitely the direction for BioShock. Like even mistakes got like left in, whereas otherwise, like, in like scores, in other scores for games that kind of like are big budget, they have that very spiffy kind of feel to them. But yeah, we definitely wanted everything to just be completely human.
The process of voice recording was something that started out, I think we underestimated the scope of the amount of voice recording we have to do for the game.
Yeah.
'Cause I've done a lot of games before, and
just the recording of the audio logs by itself, like there are games now that still don't commit to having those kind of things voiced, because it is probably a lot of work and it's probably a lot of time and energy to cast those voices, to find the right one, to feel like it comes to life. So sometimes it probably is easier to just go with a text-based reading kind of number or something like that. But man, I mean, the voices in this one, unbelievable.
How BioShock just got huge in this regard, and the amount of time writing, the amount of time recording, the amount of time casting and recasting was giant. It was it ended up being a huge project, and we had recorded in LA, recorded in Boston, and we recorded in New York. And so it was just kind of recorded all over the place, and I don't know, it was probably 40 or 50 different sessions. Like, it was just huge. It's not, all right, Marie, let's, do this and that, the sort of standard things you see in video games. There was really such a broad range of characters, and making sure that they were not too, either too sort of not projecting their personalities enough, or cartoonish, and finding that space between those two things was really challenging in a game like BioShock, because it has to be believable. That's the whole thing about this world. It's like this fantastical world where
characters, people
have to believe in it. And you have guys like Sandra Cohen who are, they're out there, but you have to believe this guy could actually exist. And you have guys like Steinman, you have to believe it exists, these crazy people. And then, Ryan and Atlas and Tenenbaum, the Little Sisters, those are all really tough characters to get, because they're really big personalities. And
that's a good way to put it.
All you have is their voice. It's like radio. You don't have the actor's face. And if we had these actors' faces, it would have been so much easier, because they're all very capable actors. You don't have makeup. And you have these guys. At the end of the day, in the game, are sort of these these sort of animated puppets, and making those guys be space marines or aliens is usually easy. That's believable. But making them sort of emote and believe, and when you see Sandra Cohen, that you believe it's the guy who's been talking to you. That's tough, and to line all those things up.
That's so true. Oh, that's it. But they nailed it. Like, to conclude the audio portion, exactly what he said. They're all such pivotal characters, and at the same time, like, with this environment and everything, because the gears are just gonna keep playing in the background. So I'm just gonna pause and have evolution here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with the characters, you could have easily, because of the accents and the time period and even just what they're relaying, it could be easy for them to come across too cartoonish. And I think that was a really good thing that he brought up, because I never felt taken out of the world when I listened to any of them. I was lapping it up. I was believing every single delivery, and everything like sat when it wanted you to, like when they wanted to hard deliver something. When Andrew Ryan is telling you about the hypnosis and you're like, what? It's just every single part of that hit so strong. And I mean, however many voice sessions it took, it was worth every single ounce of it, because I feel like that was some of the best work. I was actually hoping that they would talk a little bit more about the development cycle, but I suppose at the beginning, when they were talking about the evolution specifically, it did kind of speak to, there were a lot of broader ideas present before the details fell into place. And I would have liked to also have heard about the outside pressures, or pressures if they had any, because I do think that there's going to be pressures whenever you're producing a product. At the end of the day, there's investors and there's people that are backing this. And every day that a job or a production like this continues on, it costs more money, right? And that has to come from somewhere or something. And so now that I've sat on the game for just a little bit here, it's been like a couple days, I ultimately felt a little disappointed by the end. I did talk about this. I was pretty clear about this. I think the ending just felt a little rushed with everything, the delivery. I think if there was anything that I'm like, oh man, like I wish that had stuck with me, or had just had a little bit more moment to sit with us as the player. And it just felt like it was building and building to this beautiful, and then it was over before I felt like the ending began. And, that was like the one point of disappointment for me. And so I was kind of hoping by watching the behind the scenes that I'd get some more insight into maybe what happened. Like, what if there was, instantly my brain goes to, they're obviously capable and incredibly passionate people. I feel like they maybe had different intentions at the end. And who knows, maybe there were external factors that I'm not privy to, or we're not privy to, that impacted ultimately like what they delivered. Or maybe that was exactly what they wanted. And they were like, hey, we just need to close this up. Let's just do a little bow. And I don't know, still to this day, I think there was more there with Andrew Ryan. I think there was more with the Vita Chamber. I'm going to be a crazy conspiracist with this, but I'm telling you guys, I think that Vita Chamber could have saved him. It had his genetic code. I'm upset. I want justice. Okay. Anyways, that was really cool. And I think for somebody like me that really, as I've gotten older, I've tried to, outside of getting into development myself or things like that, I've tried to really understand the cycle of game creation and all of the components that go into it. And I think until you're a part of a process like that, you still can't even fully comprehend what it feels like to be on a team like that, the pressures that come with it, the stressors, the excitement, the thrill. Like, it's probably equal parts exciting and terrifying at the same time. But there's one thing that cut through all of that, and that's that the people who worked on this believed in it wholeheartedly, and that came across. I think it came across in every single part of the game. Even the ending, like there was thought there and consideration, and the final boss was really good, and Fontaine and everything, what he became was great. It just, the pacing of it felt a little off on that. But just brilliance, and it really shows you all of the different cogs in the wheel that gets delivered to us at the end of the day. And I just want to take this moment. I know I said it during the credits, but I always like reminding us as the players that what is 20, 30, 50 hours for us is hundreds of people and thousands of hours, thousands of days of people's lives poured into this thing that we consume. And it's just really cool to get to be able to re-experience these things, but now get to also see the minds behind it, be able to put faces to the people that created this. And it somehow makes you more, not compassionate, that's not the right word, but even more excited for where these people ended up. Now I'm curious, like, how many of these people are still in the gaming industry? How many of them are still working on certain titles? Like, what did they go on to create after that? It does just get me jazzed up to be in this industry, even as a creator. I think this is such a thrilling space, and that I've always found solace in. I have loved video games since I was a kid and found it as a way to connect with my siblings and loved ones, and then go on to make friendships and eventually create a community and create a channel here. And the connectivity that video games bring us, not just with other people, but with ourselves. I think video games just have this beautiful power to connect with us emotionally and show us different perspectives and reapproach themes that we see in our life, but maybe don't understand until we do play something like this, until you do consume something else. And a lot of times in life, it's how something's delivered with how it sits with us and how it sticks with us. And I've just always been somebody who learns best through video games. I'm a visual learner by trade anyway, but I definitely think that video games are one of my favorite ways to expand my knowledge and my experiences. I love living thousands of worlds in the span of this one life that I have here, right? So it's just cool to get to explore this and see the backside and see the people that go into making something like this. So that is officially all I have for you guys. There is no like, just kidding, one more thing. This is really it. Thank you guys for coming along with me. If you made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time, and I will see you guys in BioShock 2. I've got to get recording. I gotta go. Bye, YouTube. Now, would you kindly leave? No, I'm just kidding.